Hey, whoa there, whoa. Before you move forward, Leaky Lou here, doing my civic duty and reminding you that if you missed the introduction and character bios, you missed important plot points and might help contextualize what you're watching in this video. You just might find that you care more about the tournament if you know who you're rooting for. If you're interested, hit pause, go watch those videos, and then come back. Don't worry, I'll be waiting for you. What is up? What is up? What's up, people? We're here with the Duelist Kingdom, baby. Hopefully the intros were fun. Had a lot of fun making them. I am so excited. This is it. I put in a lot of work for this one, guys. Let's just play the damn game. You know what I'm saying? We got Mokuba Kaiba versus Rebecca Hawkins in the first round. Ooh, interesting, right? A little bit of intrigue there. Rebecca's got a vendetta against the Kaiba brothers, and so we'll see how this plays out. I'm interested to see how it goes. Rebecca is going to start with, it looks like, a magical merchant and a face down card. Mokuba's going to drop the Mass Dragon boosted by Mountain. Mountain is, I mentioned this in the last one, I do like to, gets card destruction drops, Morphing Jar there. I do like to think about meta updates in new episodes, and especially now that we have, this is the first season break. The last two videos were season 0. This is season 1. And so there has been a change in the meta, and that is that field spells have been released. Now, obviously, these are the very weak field spells, mountain, forest, that kind of thing. So yeah, there's this, because Duelist Kingdom obviously has a lot of field spell situations going on. Oh, Ultimate Offering here. She's going to tribute Sangan for, oh, Millennium Shield. Okay, great play. She gets a search off of the Sangan. That's a really good play there. Yeah, Duelist Kingdom obviously has a big field spell thing. Oh my god, she's got the combo. So Rebecca's, okay, Mokuba player is really smart here. Let me pause and explain what's going on here for a second. I know I haven't really been focusing on the duel. I've been trying to talk about field spells. Who am I, fucking Asuka Tenjoin, man? Anyways, Rebecca's deck is very much based on her season 1 deck in the anime, and Cannon Soldier is a key card for her. She has 6 copies of Sangan and Witch of the Black Forest, and so one of the very powerful, also this is not supposed to be pre-errata, and I believe that we changed that mid-tournament because the players mentioned that to me. Anyway, we don't, while it's in the pre-errata version, we don't use the pre-errata effect. It's only your main phase, opponent's battle phase. That's it. Anyways, Cannon Soldier can tribute Sangan. This is obviously pre-errata Sangan. That one is on purpose. Can tribute Sangan and Witch of the Black Forest to continually search more of them. There's 6 copies, as I mentioned, and do 3,000 damage, as well as loading up the graveyard to prepare for Shadow Ghoul. It's a really powerful strategy, and the Mokuba player knows that's coming and goes ahead and uses Burst Breath to prevent Cannon Soldier from doing any of those shenanigans early on. So that's kind of what we saw just there. She's got a ton of stuff in the graveyard already because of the card destruction, magical merchants and stuff. So this is a we got an interesting game on our hands, and I haven't even really been talking about it, so sorry about that. But yeah, you know, Duelist Kingdom is big on the field spells. These are, again, these are the weaker field spells. Does she have Shadow Ghoul? She does have Shadow Ghoul coming down. Sangan searching another Sangan. Is she gonna, okay, she's not gonna summon again there. 2,500 damage. So if she'd been able to get off that Cannon Soldier play, she would have been able to do that and do an attack with Shadow Ghoul. Mass Dragon coming down in face-up defense mode. I'm curious why that is. There's got to be a reason why it wasn't in face-down defense mode. Guard Dragon Cataclysm, Mokuba's most powerful trap card here. It is basically an Icarus attack for dragon monsters. I know Guard Dragon is a very, we're going to pretend it doesn't have Guard Dragon in the name. It's not part of the archetype, okay? It's just generic dragon support. That is going to stop the Shadow Ghoul and the Ultimate Offering. Rebecca, I believe, only has 1 copy of Ultimate Offering, and when she gets it, her deck really, really pops off. Ultimate Offering is so powerful this early on. In general, I think, is it banned, like, to this day? I don't know, but it's been banned multiple times throughout Yu-Gi-Oh! History. Mokuba knows it's a face-down Millennium Shield there, and so is just declining to attack it, and hopefully we'll find another way to get over it. And Rebecca sets a monster there. Looks like maybe, yes, a giant Soldier of Stone. Mokuba's having issues getting over these cards. Interesting, the Guard Dragon Cataclysm came down and wasn't used on Millennium Shield. That Shadow Ghoul is so powerful. Oh my god. Yeah, so one thing that I don't like is when people introduce the 500 attack point field spells too early. Oh my god, the double Spirit Ryu taking down Shadow Ghoul. Look at that. Wow. That is obviously a card that Isono also has, but unlike Isono, Mokuba does not have Ryu Senshi. Premature Burial, bringing the Shadow Ghoul back, and Spirit Ryu can only be used during your turn, not your opponent's turn. Who knew? I actually didn't know that until I started testing these decks. Another Stamping Destruction coming down, taking out the Premature Burial, Element Dragon coming down again, and taking out the Sinister Serpent on Rebecca's end there. Rising Air Current, Mystic Plasma Zone, Gaia Power, Molten Destruction, those cards are strong as hell. And basically, early Yu-Gi-Oh, unless you're playing with like really good like stuff that was meta back then, basically, which is honestly like Sangan Beats or whatever the hell, Critter format, that kind of thing. They completely decide the duel. If you allow those cards in too early, then the game becomes who can get their field spell out and can you destroy the field spell. And I didn't want that. So the field spells are relatively weak for now. But that said, they do make quite a bit of a difference. And so Final Destiny, Rebecca's key spell card coming down. Lucky Iron Axe does give Mokuba a draw, and she can't even defeat him. Oh my god. I am curious what she discarded for Final Destiny. There's a lot of good ways. The Final Destiny play in this deck is really fun because there are a lot of great ways to load up your hand with a bunch of crap and then Final Destiny it all away. Like, for example, Sinister Serpent is one of those. We'll see more examples of it as the game goes forward. So anyway, and also there's another card that she played in the anime. I don't remember what it's called. It's some garbage, but it destroys all discard 5 cards or destroy all monsters on the field. Buddy, I don't think so. Okay, we're gonna go with Final Destiny there. Destroy all cards on the field, please. If you're gonna discard 5 cards, you should at least get something that is worth it. Anyways, Mokuba's gonna set. Rebecca's gonna set another Witch of the Black Forest there. Flying Kamakiri getting in. A Raigeki break. This could be the end of the duel. Mokuba has another set monster. Mokuba is okay. Once again, we do have anime cards and custom scripts. You can see defense mode here is a custom script that allows us to normal summon in face of defense mode. And she sets a Millennium Shield, searches what looks like the last Shadow Ghoul from her deck, and sets a card. Mokuba is on the ropes here, but is doing okay. We're doing okay. Tribute to the Doom, destroying Dragon Ball and Gabe. The 3,800 Shadow Ghoul. Oh my gosh. Oh no, Rebecca's out of cards. Rebecca is out of cards. Wow, what a game. What a game. What a game. What a game. All right, starting us off in game 2 here, we have Rebecca, of course, setting a monster. Looks like a magical merchant, same start as before. Mokuba's coming down with Summoner's Art, searching Parrot Dragon, his mini-boss. Flying Kamakiri coming down, hitting into the magical merchant. How do we go? Okay, we get Scapegoat, that's it. I know you guys can't see when they flip on top of the deck. I might have to fix that somehow, but I'm not sure. We'll think about it. Another magical marionette coming down. She really loves to have these early on in the duel just to start loading up that graveyard and getting through to hopefully get some of her more powerful spells and traps. Rope of Life, that's another card that sends her whole hand to the graveyard. Scapegoat. Obviously, Scapegoat is just a good card in general, but again, it does also partner with Cannon Soldier to be able to deal 2k damage relatively quickly. Yeah, I'm really happy with how Rebecca's deck ended up. I feel like it's got a lot of fun stuff. Here's Rogue Doll. She just wanted to make sure she had a few beaters in the deck as well so that she can do battle. It is a very versatile deck. It does burn, it does a lot of searching, and it can also do a little bit of battling as well, stalling with Millennium Shield. Burst Breath coming down again. That is one of Mokuba's most powerful trap cards. You can't sleep on Burst Breath, folks. I know the Burst Breath, old card, it seemed like it's not that good, but especially this early on, where basically no characters have Mirror Force, almost no characters have Torrential, Dark Hole, cards like that are reserved for the most powerful characters. Rope of Life, that is a desperate play, discarding Shadow Ghoul, but again, you get your Shadow Ghoul back, so actually I do understand this play. The question is, yes, you do tribute the Witch of the Black Forest here, yeah, you get the search, and Shadow Ghoul is stronger anyway. Wow, that ended up being an interesting play there. Okay, that made sense. Shadow Ghoul getting in on the Twin-Headed Behemoth. Twin-Headed Behemoth special summoning itself back in face-up defense mode, as it does. And we have a set from Mokuba's side here. Rebecca drawing and having no way to push her advantage. She's just going to be attacking a few more times. Sangan being set there. I don't know. I would have maybe normal summoned the Sangan and attacked the face down. Parrot Dragon with Lucky Iron Axe. Does she have a way to stop it? She does have Mystical Space Typhoon. That is going to give him a draw, but unfortunately, I don't know if that draw is worth the Parrot Dragon being destroyed there. He does set a monster and continues to defend his life points. Sangan getting tributed for the Millennium Shield, searching for the Sinister Serpent. That's an interesting card to search. She must have some discard cards that she wants to allow to get off basically for free here. Flying Kamakiri coming down, cost down. It's Ryu and Trap Hole. That's Mokuba's boss monster. Came down, and okay. So I guess sometimes you kind of want to just reveal the face down card. Also, it helps with stuff like Smashing Ground. I don't know if Mokuba's deck has Smashing Ground. So last duel, Mokuba didn't want to reveal it, and this one, unless the player forgot that was a Millennium Shield, I'm not really sure what happened there. Anyways, Pot of Greed and setting a monster. Next up, Rogue Doll coming down, Sangan flipping up. We're going to go all in here. Troop Dragon is, of course, floating into more Troop Dragons. Shadow Ghoul hitting the Dragon Dwelling in the cave. And we have Mokuba's turn. Come on, Mokuba. Show us something good here. Mass Dragon hitting into the Sangan. Sangan is searching for Cannon Soldier. That is very scary this late in the game. With only 3,100 life points, that Cannon Soldier can do work, especially if you have Ultimate Offering. Card Destruction coming down, and Heavy Storm Rush Recklessly. Okay, the Heavy Storm play makes me think that Mokuba is trying to go for a game here. I wonder how many Mass Dragons are left in the deck. There are at least a few, but yes, okay, no, there's all 3 left in the deck. So I'm not sure what the plan was with the Heavy Storm there. This ended up being quite bad for Mokuba, actually. What is the strat here? What's going on? What am I missing? Why did you do that? To power up Shadow Ghoul, perhaps? Oh my god, does he have 2 discards? He has 2 discards. Why did you do the Cannon Soldier play? That was a bad play. Okay, that ended up working really well for Mokuba there, but he is completely out of cards, though. I guess maybe it was to bait him into doing that, because... Oh, wow, so close here. Mokuba is completely out of cards, so is that set card? Is it a bluff? We will see. Which of the Black Forest getting in for exact damage, and there it is. Rebecca Hawkins takes game 2. We have a game 3 on our hands, and folks, you know I love a game 3. We love a game 3, don't we? We love a game 3. Yes, we do, folks. Yes, we do. Setting a face-down monster and a face-down card. I'm not sure what that is, actually. Also, the I gotta swap the sides there. There we go. Twin-headed behemoth. Rogue doll hitting out twin-headed behemoth, special summoning itself in face-up defense position. And Parrot Dragon coming down. Parrot Dragon hitting the rogue doll. Rebecca, what do you have here? You don't want to lose to Mokuba. Okay, she's going to pass turn here. I'm guessing her hand is not dead. Perhaps she's just allowing herself to take some life point damage. No, she's got Scapegoat, of course, to defend her life points. Scapegoat is going to defend, taking down 2 of the Scapegoat tokens. And what do we have? Rebecca. So this is a really, really high-powered tournament. As you can see, these decks are... Well, first of all, there's been a bit of a time skip since the last one. Not that much time, maybe like a month or so. But so that's part of it. Decks in general are getting stronger. But also, of course, this is the pro league. And I really do want to make a difference in universe between non-pro league decks and pro league decks. Those duelist levels that you see in the intros I really do want them to represent. Final Destiny coming down. Oh my god, that's horrible for Mokuba. Let's see what Mokuba lost there. I'm curious. Lost a Lucky Iron Axe and a Megamorph. Oh, it was setting those to play around Morphing Jar and then got punished with Final Destiny. That's so tragic. But of course, it does look like she does set a Morphing Jar anyway, so Parrot Dragon, Spirit Ryu coming down. Spirit Ryu hitting into the Morphing Jar, and Parrot Dragon getting in directly. Now they both have new hands, and Rebecca loves her new hands. Sinister Serpent. See, okay, that's one of them actually. So Final Destiny into Morphing Jar to replenish your hand is basically the perfect play for Rebecca there, and she did just do that. Really, really great play for Rebecca. That's just exactly where you want to be when you're playing this deck. Parrot Dragon hitting Witch of the Black Forest and searching for Shadow Ghoul. Does she have a way to get it out? Ultimate Offering. There it is. Can summon like a Sangan or something, or okay, a Giant Soldier of Stone. That's fine. Ooh, that hurts. But yeah, you love in your opponent's battle phase using Ultimate Offering, summon a Sangan, tribute the Sangan for Shadow Ghoul, get a search. They don't get to attack you. It just feels great. It's like, I don't know. I don't know how many of you guys have ever had sex before. A little bit of sexual intercourse. Yeah, feels like that. Okay, Shadow Ghoul getting in on the Parrot Dragon and setting a face down from Mokuba there. But yeah, so I really did want to make the decks feel very different for the Pro League. So the decks here are really powerful, and I do think that even the sort of lower duelists in this tournament represent the greatest duelists in the world at this time. These are essentially the top 32 duelists in the world, give or take, you know, people that might not have came, things like that. But basically, no, not enough dragons in the hand to, I think you would at least try to, oh no, rare gold armor, I forgot about this. So again, this is a slightly stronger version of a card that she had in the anime. She had Ring of Magnetism, which is just rare gold armor, but it makes your monster weaker. Why would you do that? I don't know. Obviously, rare gold armor wasn't out at the time. Guard Dragon Cataclysm is huge there, getting rid of the Spirit Ryu, and also Shadow Ghoul and Millennium Shield. That's really good for Mokuba there. Mokuba drawing a card, summoning down Element Dragon Trap Hole. So I like Mokuba's deck. It's kind of generic, kind of like baby-ish dragons-ish. You know, Seiya Ryu is kind of like his version of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Share the Pain coming down, attributing Witch of the Black Forest. Again, share the Pain with all your Sangans and all your Witches to just get advantage off of that. It feels so good. She's not able to take the game here, but any Cannon Soldier takes it at this point. And there it is. Mokuba surrenders the game, and that's going to be game 3. We are moving on with Rebecca defeating Mokuba in this tournament. Next up, we have Mr. Daimon versus the Mimic of Doom. Mimic of Doom is going to start with a Pot of Greed and a set card. Looks like potentially a Dark Mimic down there. Got a Dark Catapulter coming in face of defense mode. One of the reasons we love the defense mode script, it allows some cards that are garbage to get a little bit more play. I love Dark. I'm loving. Oh, this is the anime version of Enemy Controller. Left, right, A, B. Tribute an opponent's monster. Tributing the Dark Mimic. Summoning Ambitious Gopher. What the hell just happened there? Oh, yes, Ambitious Gopher. So this is Mr. Diamond's boss monster. I love this deck. It is androids, mechanical cards. I'm hoping to show off. I hope the game's going long enough to show off some of the fun stuff here. But yeah, this card is actually not bad. So it's a 1 tribute, 2400. So it's like a Beast of Talwar, which is already decently good in this early on. And you can target up 2 monsters your opponent's controls. Your opponent can reveal 1 monster in their hand to negate the effect, otherwise destroy those monsters. So he revealed Illusory Snatcher, the Mimic of Doom's boss monster, of course, to prevent that from going down. Also, you'll notice that we have a field spell, Power of Dark. Not a field spell, a skill card. I apologize. A skill card. And that is, of course, the dark power gifted to them by Mr. Crocketts. Yeah, you didn't think that the Millennium items aren't the only powers in today's tournament. Giant Germ getting hit by Zombiro the Dark. Giant Germ floating into 2 more. Zombiro the Dark getting a little bit weaker, of course. And Ambitious Gopher hitting into the Giant Germ. Zombiro the Dark is, of course, part of Mr. Diamond's, making Mr. Diamond's mini-boss, which you can probably guess what it is. Mystical Space Typhoon hitting the Premature Burial. Looked like he wanted to tribute summon there, but didn't go off. And now setting a monster, looks like a Sangan. Kinetic Soldier, another, android there. Zombiro the Dark hitting in the Sangan. Sangan, what are we searching? Mystic Tomato, interesting. Mimic of Doom is really on the ropes here. It looks like Mr. Diamond might just take him out. Fires of Doomsday coming down at end phase. Okay, what do we got? What do we got? Show me something good here. Tributing for Illusory Snatcher. You don't love to have to tribute summon Illusory Snatcher. This thing can special summon itself when you tribute another monster. But you got to do what you got to do. Illusory Snatcher gets over the Ambitious Gopher. Brain Control, that's going to take the duel. Mr. Diamond taking out Mimic of Doom in game 1. All right, next up we have game 2. And so Mimic of Doom's deck is fun. I think the Casual Cooper had such a great idea for this deck, which is basically cards that involve mimics and cards that involve Doom. And that's why I didn't make his name the Japanese name. Almost everybody here is named after their names in the Japanese version of Yu-Gi-Oh! But Mimic of Doom, I believe it's called the Ventriloquist of Doom or some other thing. I think he has a different name in the manga. He's got a different name everywhere. Doom Shaman is in the hand. That's good. Because of his deck, oh my god, Big Bang Shot. Mim ST is so punishing there. It was a greedy play to go for the Big Bang Shot there, but he tried his best. And now he can flip summon the Mimic of the Dark Mimic, draw a card, Delinquent Duo the last 2 cards out of the hand, summon Doom Shaman, and special summon the boss monster Illusory Snatcher. Mimic of Doom is in a great place right now. But yeah, because the deck is literally Mimics and Doom, I wanted to keep the name the same to reflect that. So Doom Shaman, of course, and there's other cards that have Doom in the name. And then Mimics. I love Illusory Snatcher as his boss monster, just a card that can copy other monsters. He is the player killer of illusions after all. Anyways, we got a Giant Rat here in defense mode, setting a monster. Even Giant Rat feels a little bit on theme for Mr. Diamond. Oh my god, he can special summon Ambitious Gopher with no cards in the hand. Oh my god, it's a fiend monster. There it is. Mimic of Doom easily taking game 2 from Mr. Diamond. Alrighty, let's see. We got game 3 here. Setting 2 from Mr. Diamond, Mimic of Doom, drawing a card. Element Doom, that's another Doom card there. Giant Rat is negated by Element Doom. Oh my god. I even think, I was gonna say, I think Biofalcon, another, sick, laboratory creation there. But I think even Giant Rat fits his theme because it's like a rat that's been pumped up on steroids and shit. So a lot of the times the floaters are like, this doesn't fit the theme, but you gotta have your floater. Giant Rat, I do think works here. Element Doom getting in with the black pendant, that's exactly what you love to see there. And setting what looks like a Wall of Illusion face down. Visor Dest. Wait, is this Wall? Yeah, Wall of Illusion. I don't know if I did that on purpose. Wall of Illusion for the player killer of illusions. I don't think I did that on purpose. I never thought about it. Anyways, Visor Dest is, of course, another one of Mimic of Doom's laboratory creations. Not Mimic of Doom. Mr. Diamond's laboratory creations there. And it is stalling out because Mr. Diamond can't do anything about Mimic of Doom. These 2 characters, honestly, are kind of similar in my brain. Black Pendant getting in for 500 there. And tributing for Visor Shock. Oh my god, wait a minute. That's actually cracked. And Last Warrior from Another Planet coming down after essentially oh my god, what a play, what a play. Visor Shock is garbage. This card is so freaking bad, but somehow it ended up being very exactly perfect for that exact moment, and especially with the poly. But the Wall of Illusion puts Last Warrior from Another Planet back into the deck. Last Warrior from Another Planet is a pretty scary card. If your opponent doesn't have any way to deal with it, it obviously prevents all summons. Mrs. Tomato getting in on the Giant Rat and, well, not getting in on the Giant Rat, trying his best, but coming up against that big giant butt of the rat. That's a weird thing to say. Okay, Giant Rat floating in Giant Rat. Are we going to start trading? We're trading pieces here, trading pieces like a Grand Master. And going into Earth Hexil Fusion, interesting there, is that, I think that might just be his last Giant Rat. So that's probably why Mr. Diamond was okay with trading. No, Mimic of Doom was okay with trading pieces there. God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. The names, man. Okay, tributing for a Doom Shaman, Illusory Snatcher. He's got his combo. Is this... Oh, man. Mr. Diamond is in trouble here, baby. And what do you got, Mr. Diamond? Come on, this could be your last turn. Brain Control is huge there. Even if you can't tribute it, you just can kill them both. Wow, amazing play. And suddenly, Mr. Diamond is back in the game. Summoning a Minion Treasure Chest, which is, of course, just a Mimic. And there it is, Skull Lair. This card is absolutely key to the Mimic of Doom strategy, and so far, it has not made an appearance yet. Skull Lair. Banish cards from monsters from your graveyard to destroy a monster with that level. Dark Core. This could be, if you're doing that, it's pretty desperate. This could be Mr. Diamond's last play here. No, oh my god, he's got another Skull Lair. Oh, okay. I mean, not another Skull Lair. He's got 4 more monsters in graveyard. So part of Mimic of Doom strategy also involves loading up his graveyard with those Mystic Tomatoes, those giant germs, and all these other weaker monsters like Dark Mimic, and then banishing them all for Skull Lair. But there is a kind of secrety kind of boss monster that there is a payoff with that play, but we didn't see it in this match. We will hopefully see it when Mimic of Doom plays again. Anyways, Mimic of Doom takes the match. There he is, moving forward. Next up, we have Pegasus versus Isono. It looks like, oh yeah, I forgot this was yeah, so Isono is, I guess, making a beeline straight for Pegasus. He's skipping Kemo, and he knows he's gonna try to cut him off at the heart. We'll see how it goes. Pegasus is obviously a very strong, powerful duelist today. He is a 5-star duelist, so this is gonna be interesting. Alrighty, let's see what we got here. We got Isono starting us off with a face-down monster. Looks like a mass dragon. So let's just pause here and take a look at Pegasus's powers. He does have Power of Dark because he was empowered by Mr. Crocketts, and he also has the Millennium Eye. At the start of the duel, he looks at the opponent's hand and then can choose to have that player shuffle the hand back into the deck and draw a new hand. That is the skill of the Millennium Eye as wielded by Pegasus. So, you know, yeah, pretty cool. I like the skills, man. I think it adds a fun new whole dynamic. Anyways, Pegasus is going to start us off with a Allure of Darkness and summon his incredibly powerful vanilla monster, Jungler Ghoul Illusionist. So again, if we're talking meta updates, vanillas have gotten a lot stronger, but 2000 vanilla. Okay, Ryu Senshi coming down. That's great for Isono if that trap card is something good, because oh my god. And the MST. Oh no, MST destroying Scapegoat for Pegasus. I love Pegasus's deck, and I'm excited to show off all the cool things in it. So yeah, the Jungler Ghoul Illusionist, most duelists do not have 2000 vanillas. Pegasus, of course, being the creator of card games, does have access to the most powerful vanilla, level 4 vanilla in the game. And so 1900 for every other duelist in the world. I think there's no other 2000s in this tournament, I don't believe, is the strongest that they can get to. Of course, last tournament, it was 1700, and the tournament before that, there were very few 1700s. It was still 1700. Now we are officially at full power, level 4 vanillas. Anyways, Pegasus's Rogue Doll coming down. Unfortunately, Jungler Ghoul Illusionist isn't powered up by the field spell, but I think that kind of works because it's already so powerful as a level 4 monster. Another one. Did he draw all 3 of those? He did draw all 3 of those. Kunai with Chain is great there for Isono, allowing him to get over that Jungler Ghoul Illusionist, and then getting over the, oh no, Magic Cylinder, our first Magic Cylinder of Zero Chronicles. You love to see it, folks, taking out half of Isono's life points there. And Black Illusion Ritual coming down, relinquished, eating up the Warrior Digrepher, and unable to get over Dragon Dueling in the Cave because Kunai with Chain. So I guess you kind of have to do that because it's going to get over Jungler Ghoul Illusionist either way. Delinquent Duo coming down, discarding Blade Knight and Mirage Dragon from Isono's hand. As you can see, he has had some buffs to his deck. Blade Knight and Mirage Dragon, 2 quite powerful cards. And I do like the idea of giving Kaiba's employees some of the other cards that he ends up, not Mirage Dragon, but Blade Knight is a card that he uses. So like Mokuba and Isono, and potentially other Kaiba Corp employees, if we see them, are going to have some of Kaiba's other strategies sometimes, because, you know, because of the focus on archetypes and on like the way that I build these decks, sometimes duelists might, like, you know, I don't know if Kaiba's ever going to actually run Blade Knight in Zero Chronicles. And so I think it is, if he can't run it, at least some of his other people can run it to kind of represent that aspect of his deck. Anyways, Relinquished is gotten over from Isono. Isono is on the ropes as far as life points, but potentially in control of the field here. Let's see what that face down is. It is a Mystic Tomato going into Illusionist Faceless Mage. That is only 1 copy of that in the deck. It is quite bad, but because you can float into it with Mystic Tomato. Jigen Bakudan. Okay, folks, this is an anime-only card. Well, obviously there is a real version, but it sucks ass. Okay, this is the anime version, and this card is crazy. It's insane. Only available to the strongest duelists like Pegasus, a 5-star duelist. Your opponent cannot target this card as an attack target. Oh, okay. During your opponent's second end phase. Notice this is during the opponent's end phase, okay? This wipes the field and then inflicts, and then it basically Ring of Destructions every monster on the field, and you take total damage equal to the monsters that you owned. and it happens during the opponent's second end phase, meaning you get to go next after wiping your opponent's field and potentially attack them directly. This card is obviously incredibly powerful, hey, listen, okay, I know, oh, that's too powerful, okay, shut up, okay. The thing is, okay, I'll just talk a little bit about my philosophy. Okay, we'll get back to the duel. Just work with me here, okay? I'll talk a little bit about my philosophy in building these decks. So, one thing that I don't like about the video games, and one thing that I don't like about the reason why I didn't want to do this in like Master Duel, like some of the other series that are similar to this, like Casual Coopers, and I think there are a few more starting to pop up here and there. I hate the idea, and this comes from Tag Force, it comes from World Championship, it comes from Spirit Color, all these games, right? Where basically every deck at a certain point runs the same suite of staples: Torrential Tribute, Mirror Force, Magic Cylinder, Pot of Greed, Heavy Storm, etc. Right? And I feel like I love the idea of staples being way more tailored to the deck. And so and anime cards are the perfect way to do that, because there's some absolutely busted anime cards, right? And so, when you're able to, and obviously, I mean, Pegasus. What is Yami Pegasus? I don't know what that is. That's not who this is. This is just Pegasus, right? All right, well, the cat's kind of out of the bag. I just called him Yami Pegasus. So obviously, if you couldn't tell from the intro, this is kind of Yami Pegasus. That's why he doesn't have any tunes in his deck. I just revealed it. It's fine. It's finished. I've already told everybody. There it is. It's Yami Pegasus. Obviously, Yami Pegasus is a 5-star duelist. It's supposed to be extremely powerful. And so, he gets cards like Jigen Bakudan, right? And so everybody's going to have, well, not everybody, depending on how strong they are, right? Everybody is going to, but less as they get weaker, more as they get stronger, have busted cards. And the way that works, I love this because it means that every deck is not going to run Torrential Tribute. Every deck is not going to run the exact same staples. There are a few staples that are exempt from this. Heavy Storm is one. At a certain level, not every duelist in this tournament has Heavy Storm. Heavy Storm is now live, though. This is the first tournament where we are finally seeing Heavy Storms. Heavy Storm is a card that truly has no alternative. There's Harpy's Feather Duster, which I don't like because it takes away the mind game, right? Heavy Storm is a very interesting mind game because you can only set the same amount of cards your opponent sets, essentially, if you don't want to go minus. And so there's a really interesting mind game between players at all times about who has Heavy Storm. And there's even that kind of really fun, like, I think it's been kind of developing an Edison format where you basically first turn set 1, and then your opponent thinks, okay, they're not going to heavy, I can set 2. Boom, the one that you set was a heavy, right? There's all kinds of mind games that come with heavy. Harpy's Feather Duster, none of those mind games. So Harpy's Feather Duster is reserved for few characters. As you can probably guess, one of them is in this tournament today. But Heavy Storm is just one of those cards. Destroying all spell and traps on the field, it is basically irreplaceable. So Heavy Storm is probably the one exception to this where, yeah, everybody that is at a certain power level is just going to have Heavy Storm. And that's sad, but that's just how it is. Anyways, back to the duel. Jigen Bakudan is out. Now, the thing with Jigen Bakudan is your opponent has 2 turns. There it is, Reigeki Break, right? And actually, I hope that we see it in this tournament. In testing, while Jigen Bakudan is very strong, giving your opponents 2 turns to get it off the field however possible, especially in a relatively high-powered tournament like this one, it is not quite as strong potentially as you might think it is. Because, again, they have 2 turns to get it off the field. Anyways, Manju going into Black Illusion Ritual here. Black Illusion Ritual tributing for Relinquished, and Brain Control. This could be the game. This could be the game. He's going all in. Those face towns do anything? And they don't. And there it is. Pegasus, or Yami Pegasus, as it has now been revealed, has taken game 1. Moving into game 2 here. All right, the Millennium Eye has revealed Isono's hand, and Pegasus decided not to shuffle it back. That's kind of a good choice. He's got 2 giant rats in the hand. You don't love to see that. You also don't get to see their extra draw. It's only the first 5 cards with this. Lure of Darkness banishing the Thousand Eyes Idol. Jungler Ghoul Illusion is coming down and hitting it with the giant rat, and special summoning the Earth Hex Seal Fusion, which now that Spirit Ryu is in the hand, can obviously go into Isono's boss monster, the Ryu Senshi. Now setting a face down card. Negate attack. Okay, Isono is praying to draw something to protect that Ryu Senshi. Actually, no, Shard of Greed is going off here now too, so gets 3 draws to potentially do something. Okay, well, it is going to be a trap, we know, because spell cards can't target Ryu Senshi. Eye of Illusion. Oh, okay, Sakuretsu armor, but still not enough. Yeah. That is a great play there. Eye of Illusion to prevent his monsters from being destroyed by battle. Sakuretsu armor takes out the first one, but unfortunately the second one can crash with no penalty for Pegasus there. Jungler Ghoul Illusion is getting in on the Giant Rat. Giant Rat summoning another Earth Hex Shield Fusion. Does he have it? Does he have a Spirit Ryu or Warrior Digrapher in hand? He does. Can go back into the Ryu Senshi again. getting in on the face down monster. It's a Wall of Illusion. That is absolutely punishing. Wall of Illusion, again, I mentioned last time, is so powerful. And even in today's tournament where there are stronger level 4 monsters, it is especially powerful, especially in decks that have Power of Dark, the darkness that gives it 200 extra defense points. It is basically like last tournament where there's no level 4s that naturally get over it, which is a problem. Blade Knight coming down with 2,000 attack points there because only one card is in the hand, and Relinquished is, oh my god, Relinquished, of course, is also powered up by Yami, allowing it to get over Spike Shield with Chain, one of Isono's new very powerful trap cards. It gains 500 attack points. I guess it's not that powerful, let's be honest. But while in defense mode, it gains defense equal to its attack, which is quite good. And now getting over all of Pegasus's field, which is quite good, quite good. Monster Reborn bringing Relinquished back, Relinquished taking that Blade Knight, and then can get over the Mirage Dragon. Isono is on the ropes here. Come on, Isono, you got to do this for Kaiba, brother. You did so well in the last tournament. Oh no, it's okay actually, because Pegasus does not have a lot of damage on board. In fact, no more than just 18. So getting indirectly with the Relinquished is not the end of the world. Come on, he's trying to get back in the game somehow. However he can, sets a face down, potentially, what is that, a twin-headed behemoth or something? We will see. It's a Kajiki. I forgot he still has that crappy card in the deck. Mystic Tomato getting in directly. Mystical Space Typhoon on Blade Knight, summoning Warrior Digrapher, get in on that Relinquished, and it's Magic Cylinder. Oh, that's so tough because, oh, that's the end of the game. That was Isono's last play. He did his best, but Relinquished can now swallow up that Warrior Digrapher whole, and Isono scoops, and there it is. Isono is moving into loser's bracket. Pegasus moving forward in the tournament. All right, we got Sid Takaido versus Ryota Kajiki. All right, Sid Takaido is going to start us off with two sets. Looks like potentially a UFO turtle down there, and a Great White coming down from Kajiki, and UFO turtle floating into UFO turtle. Next up, Kajiki sets 2 cards, and Takaido is going to take on the... Okay, Little Chimera, Jar of Greed. Interesting. You probably should have played that first. It was a mistake. Torrential Tribute. Oh, no. Kajiki does have 3 copies of Torrential Tribute. That is probably one of the strongest aspects of his deck. He does have some weaker monsters like Fiend Kraken, but again, 3 copies of Torrential Tribute is nothing to sniff at, and he is quite a powerful duelist. He does have some other good cards in there as well. Molten Zombie getting in on the Fiend Kraken. And Ryota drawing a card. Oh, has to pass turn here. Not great. Molten Zombie number 2 coming down. A second Torrential Tribute. What do you do? What do you do against 3 Torrential Tributes when he draws 2 of them? MST, do we have a big play coming in? Manju of the 10,000 hands. Is it time? Say it ain't so. It's the Fortress Whale. Kajiki's boss monster getting in directly. And Kajiki is low on cards here. If Takaido is able to take out this last monster, then he will be in trouble. Molten Zombie letting him draw a card. Oh, wow. Not going for Molten Zombie there it does make sense because you do need to get over that Fortress Whale, but he did get a draw. He could have gotten 2 draws there, but yes, Little Chimera was the play. That does make sense. Although it seems, no, never mind. That made sense. Crazy Fish getting it on the Little Chimera. Now, whoever gets Starboy or Little Chimera in this duel is particularly advantaged, right? Because not only does it power up your monsters, but it weakens the opponent's monsters. So Little Chimera, they're really powerful. Crazy Fish, of course, had to destroy that as quickly as possible. 7-colored fish. One of Kajiki's powerful level 4 monsters coming in and destroying the Rigorous Reaver, which does reduce the power of 7-colored fish. Kajiki is basically hanging on by a thread here, and this could be the end of the game. There it is. Flame Ruler and Twin-Headed Fire Dragon getting in directly. All right, in game 2 here, we've got Kajiki starting us off with a Manju of the 10,000 hands going into Fortress Whale's Oath and ending his turn. He might have Fortress Whale in hand, doesn't want to play at turn 1, or potentially just doesn't have it. That is the punish, of course, for playing Manju and Sinju. The UFO Turtle being able to crash into you and then get attacked and then attack directly. And Takaido's going to set a card to end his turn. Next up, we have Water Hazard from Kajiki. Water Hazard special summoning the Island Turtle. Great White coming down. Great White getting in on UFO Turtle. Both of them got turtles. Flame Ruler, and is the reason he summoned Flame Ruler is the boss monster coming down? No, it's not. Just the Twin-Headed Fire Dragon. That's okay. The mini boss destroying the Great White, and then Jar of Greed. Is the Takaido player forgetting to use Jar of Greed earlier? I think he is. Heavy Storm is crazy here. He must have a really big play. Fortress Whale Oath. Oh my god. Okay, no. What it is this is his last play that he possibly has, and so he has to Heavy Storm because if this fails, then he loses everything. He had to use everything for this monster and then Fissure. This is the end of the game. He's way too far behind in card advantage. He had to go all in on that Fortress Whale just to do... Honestly, I maybe would have waited one more turn to try to do that, because I think you maybe could have survived another turn. But, because, yeah, that was so punishing. He had to use a Heavy, use a Premature Burial, all to get out Fortress Whale, tribute everything that he had, And yeah, I mean, yeah, oof. And then Tribute to the Doom here, and then he just surrenders. Yeah, there it is. Takaido taking 2 easy games from Ryota Kajiki, right? Yeah, Takaido won both games. Yeah, easy games there. Kajiki did not come to play, apparently. And next up, we have Jonouchi versus Mai. You know I had to do this one. So this game will determine Mai's path forward, as with the okay, what I was like, what does that mean? As with what? Why did I start the sentence like that? Battleguard Howling is going to basically Ring of Destruction, but send back to the hand the bird face there. Crimson Sindri. Jonouchi has a Fire Warrior deck, and Warrior and Fire Warriors. His deck is quite a lot more powerful, but you know, it does have its own problems. But anyways, this game, if Jonouchi is able to take this match against Mai, then Mai will start on a path closely, more similar to the anime where she is starting to learn a little bit about friendship. If Mai is able to take the game from Jonouchi, we will not see that storyline from Mai, at least not now. Brushfire Knight coming down. Axe Raider again. Oh my god, the defensive Aqua Chorus is great there from Mai. And yeah, also one thing I said last time, I don't know, I totally lied last time. I didn't mean to, but I said last time that I only set up the first round of matches, and then the other ones I just leave completely up to who I don't even look. That's not entirely true. I think that I do kind of set up interesting potential games throughout the bracket that may or may not happen. I mean, I obviously, okay, Thousand Dragons coming down, huge, beautiful. Digging out the Harpy Channeler, which is a very powerful card. Mai does have the first round of support for Harpies that came out like around the Xyz era. There's a lot of Harpy support that's come out over the years. She doesn't have, oh my god, Hysteric Party is huge here. Oh my god, what a play. Putting Harpy Dancer back in the hand, using it to discard, summoning Harpy's Pet Dragon, Baby Dragon, and then easily taking the game from Jonouchi here. Before we go on to the next one, I'll just continue what I was saying. So what I said last time was that I only set up round 1 duels to be like interesting, and then I don't even look at how that might affect later rounds, and I don't even look at how that might affect the losers bracket. The same is still true for the losers bracket. It's confusing to see which game's going to losers bracket. I don't know how any of that shit works. So, but the only difference, I do like, you know, round 2, round 3, round 4, I kind of look a little bit and I'm like, oh, if everything goes exactly the right way, these 2 duelists could meet in like round 3 of the winners bracket. So I don't know why, I guess I said that. I didn't even realize that I do that, but I definitely do that. And so, you know, that's totally beside the point probably. I'm just rambling at this point. But Mai and Jonouchi was definitely a game that I did want to set up here. I wanted to at least give Jonouchi the chance to befriend Mai, as happened in the anime. But, you know, the way things are going right now, it's not looking too good for you, Jonouchi. You better have a strategy here. Okay, Jonouchi's going to start us off. Come on, Jonouchi. Do so. Oh, not good. Not good. Setting 2 against the Harpy Feather Duster player as well. Mountain coming down. No Harpy Feather Duster. It seems Flying Kamakiri getting in directly and then setting a face down. Come on, Jonouchi. Show us something good here. Oh my god. What is this hand? What is happening? Double Flying Kamakiri. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, also something that I know that the players... So it came out like halfway through the tournament that the players were using a really... busted old version of some of the decks, about like 4 or 5 of them. I don't remember. Ones that I had drastically changed, but I guess I had accidentally sent to them. So there are some of the games that had to be redone. I don't know which ones. I think Mai might have been one of those. I don't know much of the details there. Anyways, United We Stand. The card from Anzu. Salamandra. Wait. What a play. What a play. Scapegoat plus United We Stand is crazy, dog. That's a crazy play. And Mirror Wall is enough to reduce the damage to her life points, but not enough to stop that incredible attack from Brushfire Knight there. She's going to pay the 2k for Mirror Wall, which is interesting because all your monsters are in defense mode anyway. Sogen coming down, getting rid of the mountain, and destroying Harpy's Pet Dragon. Wow, Scapegoat and United We Stand. Now that's a combo that I did not anticipate. That is really cool. That is a Jonouchi-ass play right there, man. Coming up with some really interesting, you know, new combo that I never realized before. Now, of course, the problem with this is that Scapegoat, oh, MST hitting the United We Stand is pretty bad there. The Scapegoat has clogged up all of his zones, so he can only attack with one monster, and Mai knows that. Gotta destroy Garuda the Wind Spirit there because it can move your Brushfire monster to defense mode if you don't. Harpy's Feather Duster. There it is. That's gotta be the game here. There's no way Jonouchi comes back from that. Come on. He does have 5 cards in hand. I don't know what, you know, it's possible. Brushfire Knight's going to send Nope, not Flame Swordsman. Another Brushfire Knight from the deck to the graveyard. I believe that I moved to the anime version of Flame Swordsman because it's just a vanilla 5-star monster. Second coin toss. Here we go. Here we go. Time Wizard. Let's go. Time Roulette. Go. Let's go. Oh my god. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. What the hell? He actually did the time. Wait. Jonouchi takes game 2. What a game. Oh my god. I need to stop just rambling and pay more attention to the games. What a game. What a game. The second coin toss, Time Wizard, didn't need the second coin toss, by the way, wipes her field and gets in with Axe Raider to end the game. That is exactly what we want to see from Jonouchi. Can Jonouchi take this? Jonouchi's deck is not, you know, the greatest. I will admit it. It has a lot of cool, like, good stuff. It's got good stuff in there. But I did kind of want to, you know, he's an underdog in Duelist Kingdom, and I wanted to represent that. So his deck is, you know, it has a lot of powerful stuff, as you've seen. It has a lot of, like, interesting, like, one-off cards that are really good. Stuff like United We Stand, stuff like Scapegoat. But it, you know, it's not as good as some of the other decks. Oh my God, there it is. This is what Mai loves to do. So basically, Harpy's pet baby dragon is incredibly powerful. This card is strong as hell, dog. And so being able to special summon this from the deck with Harpy Channeler. Okay, here's what it is. There's a lot of, as you can see, Mai is swarming the field early on. Even in this early Duelist Kingdom era, Mai is able to swarm the field very quickly. And so basically, if she can get out 3 Harpies and a Harpy's pet baby dragon, she can do so much, because Harpy's pet baby dragon can destroy any card on the field. That is just really powerful. Now, usually if you're summoning with Harpy Channeler, it's in defense mode, which is not great, but it also protects your Harpies from being attacked. It's just basically her bread and butter play is, how many Elegant Egotists do I have? Do I have the Harpy Channeler, etc., etc.? Can I get out the Harpy's Pet Baby Dragon play? And I think that we'll see that quite a lot from her in the tournament, because it's really, really powerful. Premature Burial Specialist. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is so strong from Mai here. Arnades. Oh, no, Copycat's not doing it, because her monsters are powered up and it only copies original attack points, unfortunately. There it is, getting in with a ton of damage there from Mai. I don't see Jonouchi coming back from this one. I don't even know if he has a board. Oh my God. Yes, he does. He does have a board wipe. It's Time Wizard. Yo, Time Roulette go again. Unfortunately, we did get spoiled as to Mai's last card. It is Hysteric Party. Oh man, dude, that is so good. I did give Mai 1 copy of Harpy Lady 1, 2, and 3. The Harpy vanilla monsters are too weak. I think giving her all Harpy 1 is a little too strong. And I think that Cyber Harpy Lady feels like a more later on card. So I wanted to, you know, her deck is obviously very strong, as you've seen in this game. I wanted to kind of offset that a little bit by giving her 1, 2, and 3. The 2 and 3 are pretty bad, but yeah. Anyways, wow, a great match there. That was so much fun to watch. Mai is moving forward, and unfortunately, she will not be learning any lessons from Jonouchi today. Not today. Next up, we have Mr. Crocketts versus Diva. Alrighty, let's see what we got here. Mr. Crocketts is starting us off, setting a face-down monster. Diva is going to play Graceful Charity, drawing 3, discarding 2, sending Marie the Fallen One, summoning Manju with the 10,000 hands. So I love Diva's deck here. Diva is one of the few in the tournament that does have advanced ritual art, allowing him to summon his boss monster. Oh, I know, Yugi's the one who used Magician of Black Chaos. Look, Yugi can't have 2 ritual monsters, all right? Everybody gets 1, okay? Everybody gets 1, all right? And I picked a different one for Yugi. A little bit different than the show. What are you gonna do? He does have both Manjus, allowing him to get into advanced ritual art, summoning Magician of Black Chaos. Now, there is kind of a fun little thing that I did with his deck, and I will wait to show it off here. But Magician of Black Chaos is only one of his 2 boss monsters. It is being boosted by Yami there, but of course, Dark Core destroying or banishing the Magician of Black Chaos. Dark Lord Marie allowing him to gain 200 more life points. Chaos Command Magician, his old boss monster coming down. Ooh, Robin Goblin, one of his new cards. He loves taking cards out of the opponent's hand, gets rid of Card Guard in the hand. Now, Mr. Crockett's deck is also a lot of fun as well. As with Isono and Kemo, he does have the third of the sort of, I consider like a 3, oh, there it is, Dark, Balter, the Terrible. I consider them kind of a trio. They're kind of like Metamorphosis trio from GOAT format, except instead of getting out using Metamorphosis, you're getting them out the old-fashioned way. Dark, Balter, the Terrible is an insane card. I can't believe this card exists. When a normal spell is activated, negate the effect by paying 1,000 life points, and then it also just negates the effects of effect monsters it destroys by battle. That shit is busted, bro. Just negate all normal spells. So I don't even know why Diva played Pot of Duality there. I think that the player made a mistake and forgot that Baltor was on the field. I know that I've done it before. This card is very hard to play against. Time Seal coming out to prevent him from drawing to gaining any more advantage. And Axe of Despair. So that is, his deck is all around getting out Baltor the Terrible and then powering it up using Axe of Despair. We've already seen Card Guard, allowing him to protect it. If he's able to get a Card Guard Dark Baltor out, you are in trouble. That thing prevents itself from being destroyed once, and that is just so strong. And look at this. He is absolutely destroying Diva here. Dark Lord Marie gaining him 200 life points and setting what looks like probably a Light Hexiled Fusion, perhaps? Yes. And getting in directly with Cryuel and Frontier Wiseman. Dark Lord Marie gaining 200 more life points. Oh my god. And that's a Shining Angel. Unfortunately, Dark Balls of the Terrible is going to stop that Shining Angel from doing anything. Lancer Archfiend, that is another one of the cards that he can use to power up Dark Balls of the Terrible by making it Pierce, Axe of Despair, Lancer Archfiend, Card Guard, all ways to power up his Dark Ball to the Terrible, and he just completely, his deck was firing on all cylinders there. That was exactly what you want to see. Now, he does only have one copy each of Card Guard and Lancer Archfiend because his deck, again, there is a level of balance that goes in, and his deck, when there were like 3 Card Guards in there, I was like, yo, this is actually insanely busted. This is way too powerful. It looks like potentially a DD Warrior Lady face down. No, I was going to say, I don't know the DD Warrior Lady was in this tournament. I think that, I don't know if I put that in. So yeah, Frontier Wiseman, he looks like he's Shining Angels face down. Please, no. You hate to see this if you're Diva, right? The Shining Karma Cut. Okay, beautiful. One of the ways that he can get rid of Dark Ball to the Terrible there by using a trap card. Flipping Shining Angel, Illusory Gentleman into attack mode, getting in directly. 12 and 17. Shining Angel, of course, being reduced in power by the Power of Dark. Field spell, Ryukishin Power getting in on Illusory Gentleman there. Come on, Diva. Come on. Take us to game 3, baby. You can do. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good there, Diva. It's not good. Forgiving Maiden. Uh-oh. Are we about to see it? Light Hex Sealed coming down. Swords of Revealing Light. Okay, because you wanted to flip the... I get that. So yes, as I've mentioned... Oh, Robin Goblin is great here. As I've mentioned, I do love the Dark and Light duality stuff with Diva, and so he has 2 boss monsters, Magician of Black Chaos and Saint Joan. 1 ritual, 1 fusion, 1 dark, 1 light, same attack stat line. I think it's very cool, and I'm really excited about this deck. The Magician of Black Chaos and the Saint Joan as kind of the 2 halves, and I do love both of these cards. These cards are cool. I love Saint Joan. Saint Joan is cool as shit, dog. This guy is this cool card. We love Saint Joan in this household. Come on, we gotta agree, right? You guys agree, right? Saint Joan is an awesome card. Uh-oh, the double Saint Joan coming down. They don't care if they're reduced in power by Power of Dark. They are getting in. Uh-oh. Now that there's 2, you can, okay, Mystical Space Typhoon and the Robin Goblin is good there. Now that there's 2, you don't mind. As long as one of these Cryo-Wells doesn't hit, there it is. Okay, as long as at least one of them doesn't hit, you get to keep a Saint Joan. And now you can get in safely on that other one. Card Guard is interesting here. Axe of Despair on the Card Guard. Oh my gosh. Okay, that is, and oh, this is interesting. Putting the guard counter on Axe of Despair, because the guard counter actually doesn't protect Card Guard itself. Change of Heart is huge here. Oh my gosh. But he can't win. Oh, wow. I don't know if I gotta be honest, if I'm Mr. Crocketts there, I think that I potentially don't destroy Card Guard, right? Because you weren't gonna lose, it's only 28, and so you get it back next turn, unless he probably has good cards in his hand. Maybe that's why he did that, but that was an interesting play. Oh, you know what? No. There's a reason you destroy Card Guard there, and that's because you know that if he played Change of Heart, he probably had a way to tribute it off. That's what it was, I think. That's what it was. That makes sense, actually. Yeah, Card Guard, its own guard counter can't protect itself. You have to put it on something else in order to get the protection effect. So, oof. Oh, he wanted to go for game there, but unfortunately did not quite have the sauce. Cryo-Well doesn't go off here again, which is great for Diva because he really wanted to keep that Saint Joan. Diva's in a good place here. But it's not over yet. Ooh, it might be. After this play, I don't think so. Summoning Frontier Wiseman and passing is not what you want to see there. Old Vindictive Magician coming down, and Mr. Crocketts can go ahead and scoop here because this is over. By the way, I did, last time the games, yeah, there it is. Last time the games always went to the very end. I was like, I think that when we had started the first 2 tournaments, I was like, you never know what's going to happen. Like, let every game play out until the life points hit 0. Do your best. And I realized that A, that just takes up way too much time. These videos are too long already. And B, it's boring to watch a game that you know is already over, go to its final conclusion. So this tournament, I was like, guys, scoop. If you know you can't win, just scoop. We don't want to watch the old magician attack directly 7 times. Just scoop the game, brother. So anyways, next up we have game 3. What do we have here? Mr. Crockett starting us off, of course, setting a face-down monster. I'm going to guess it's a Cryo-Well. I'm going to throw Cryo-Well out there. That's going to be my guess. Dunamis Valkyria. I call it Dunamis Valkyria. I don't care because that is its name in the OCG, and I think it's way cooler than Dunamis Dark Witch. I think the word Valkyria and Valkyria, that's just the great magician's Valkyria. Well, like, what a cool-ass word. Valkyria? Who the fuck thought that shit up, bro? Whoever thought up Valkyria was cooking, bro. They were in their bag when they thought of that word. That word is awesome. Heavy Storm coming down. To get out Dark Balter, completely safe. Time Seal does chain. What was the other one? Solemn Judgment. Interesting. That wouldn't have been able to stop the Dark Balter anyway. And of course, attack the Shining Angel to make sure that Its effect doesn't go off. Does Diva have? Oh, got nothing, because that ain't a DD Warrior Lady. That's an Illusory Gentleman, unfortunately. Oh, even if it was, it wouldn't have mattered. Dark Ball to the Terrible is really powerful here. Oh man, Diva has a lot of spell cards and not a huge amount of traps. So this is a particularly bad matchup for him. And Card Guard on, oh, this is over. This is over. This is over. Like I said, once Card Guard gets on that Dark Ball to the Terrible, then there is so little that you can do. No normal spells. It can't be destroyed. At this point, the game is over, and he knows it. He's just playing normal spells to try to do something, I guess. Or maybe that was forgetting the Dark Balter was on the field. I don't know. Either way, this game is, oh my god, the double Dark Balter. I just bumped it in my mic. That was embarrassing. This you never seen a game more over than this. Diva is going to have his final draw here. Destiny. Draw. Premature burial. No, what are we doing here? What's the plan? There's no plan. This is when you scoop, guys. Wait, what is he doing? I don't know what he... Okay, maybe he didn't know what was in his deck and was like, maybe there's something I can search with Black Forest. No, there is nothing there, Diva. So, Diva is going to lose to Mr. Crocketts. That is very unfortunate for Diva. Diva has one more chance to potentially try to save his sister, although, as you've seen in the intros, it's not looking good for him. That Millennium Key does not do what he thinks it is. Next up, we have Dinosaur Ryuzaki versus Zygor Satake. All right, starting us off here, we got Zygor playing Allure of Darkness. And so again, Pot of Greed even, and well, not Graceful Charity as much. Pot of Greed is a card that is really powerful, right? And so I wanted to give some of the weaker Duelist alternative draw methods that weren't Pot of Greed. You saw Mai use Wing Requital there. I'm not sure if she also has Graceful Charity. She might, but a lot of the Duelists have other stuff because Pot of Greed is busted. And so again, I really do want to find ways to reflect the power differential in Duelist levels, especially when it comes to pros and non-pros, but even within the pros. And especially this early on. So, you know, we don't do the staples like Pot of Greed, Dark Hole. You have to be a certain caliber to have Pot of Greed and Dark Hole, although Lord of Darkness is quite good as well. I totally just didn't even comment on the fact that he got his boss monster out, and that boss monster got Adhesion Trap Hole. That's so rude. Zygor Satake does, of course, run a Dark Warrior deck around Garma Sword. Ooh, Stim Pack on the Hyper Hammerhead is beautiful here from Ryuzaki, and getting in directly with the Giant Rat. Come on, Satake. Come on. You're the Russian champion. Exiled Force is good on Hyper Hammerhead. Hyper Hammerhead, of course, is really powerful this early on. And Dust Tornado to stop that face down. It was a trap hole of spikes. That is, you hate to see that if you're Satake. This is really bad for Zygor. Although Ryuzaki is not able to push his advantage, just has to attack with Giant Rat and send you in defense mode there because you don't want to crash with the Giant Rat, setting a face down card and ending his turn. Is that the... No, never mind. That didn't... What I was going to say didn't make sense. Giant Rat and Giant Rat getting in directly. Come on, Satake. Come on. Give us something here, buddy. Setting... Oh, is that like a Senju? But he's all out of Garma Swords, so it doesn't even matter. And, yeah, there it is. Ryuzaki goes for game. The Sword Arm of Dragon. Of course, this card is absolute ass. But, you know, I wanted to include it. It's Duelist Kingdom. He plays it, and it's a cool card. I like it. Alrighty, in game 2 here, we have Satake drawing a card. Summoning Senju with the 10,000 hands. Of the 1,000 hands, he only has 1,000. Why do I want to give him 10 times that much? He only has 1,000. I'm sorry, Senju. I'm sorry. Giant Rat coming in, of course, as always, the punish for Senju is a Giant Rat bouncing onto your head and summoning another one and setting 3 cards here because he knows that Satake doesn't have Heavy Storm. So rude to taunt Satake like that. He does have now, the decks that don't have Heavy Storm do have other things that destroy more than one spell or trap. I'll just go ahead and say it's usually like Heavy Storm Duster, stuff like that. Twin Twisters potentially. So there are ways to kind of do like mass-ish spell trap removal, but not the one you really want. Rush Recklessly on Hyper Hammerhead is huge here. You get to keep Hyper Hammerhead, which is, of course, just a very, you know, hard card to play against, and destroy that Makira. Crash with Crawling Dragon here. Hit with Hyper Hammerhead directly. Ryuzaki's in a good position here because, again, just Hyper Hammerhead by itself is just a great card to have. Adhesion Trap Hole coming down again, preventing... Satake is just really trying to get that. I think they're trying to get that Hyper Hammerhead off the field so they can go into bigger plays. But unfortunately, Ryuzaki just has so much back row that is really doing great work here. Dark Crusader... No, Miniaturize, man. Ryuzaki has a lot of battle traps. Rush Recklessly, Miniaturize. These cards I do feel like very much fit his dinosaur theme. And there he is. Ryuzaki's going to take an easy 2-0 from Zygor Satake. Kapazals, I don't think Kabazals really fits Ryuzaki all that much, to be honest. It's not the same kind of like dinosaur. It's kind of like a dinosaur. You know what I'm saying? I know that I'm not really saying English words when I do that, but I feel like you know what I'm saying, right? And so I didn't love Kabazals in here, but he needed it. When I was testing, he just needed another guy. He needed another big level 4 guy to kind of meet his beatdown deck, and I didn't want it to be too strong. So Kabazals is what I landed on, and I don't love it, but it's fine. It's kind of a big whatever. Shut up. Next up, we have first Ryuzaki moving forward there. Next up, we have Otogi versus Kaiba. All right, we got Kaiba starting us off with a Lajin, the Mystical Genie of the Lamp. This is one of his level 4 normals. I believe that this is his strongest one, which is 18. So again, that kind of shows off kind of some of the, if Kaiba is supposed to be like one of the most powerful duelists in the world, and his strongest is only 18. He does not have Force Raider yet. So that kind of shows off how powerful Jongleur Ghoul Illusionist is in Pegasus's deck. Anyways, Kaiser Seahorse coming in with the Axe of Despair, loving that from Kaiba, and destroying the Dark Crusader. Otogi's deck has started to move a lot closer to what I feel like, oh my god, what was that Morphing Jar? Let's see what they discarded. Cyberstein, Dark Hole, Mesmeric Control, discarding so many of Kaiba's really powerful cards there. That was a punishing Morphing Jar for Kaiba. But again, I always feel like I'm always kind of up in the air about what to do with Otogi. I think that like the Strike Ninja is kind of like a big key focal point for me. I think Dark Warriors and like Orgoth the Relentless isn't dark, but like kind of like guys like you know, kind of like warriors that are like mean and these kind of guys, you know what I mean? Like those guys. I know Strike Ninja isn't really like that, but so like dark-ish warriors. Blind Obliteration here is huge, wiping the whole field, and Kaiba is left with very little. Otogi's doing well here. Otogi's doing well. So that's kind of one of my focal points. He does still have like Fiends and Zombies-ish, because he does play a lot of those in the game, like Uranzo, Dark Assailant. Oh my god, Ancient Rules coming out, the Blue Eyes White Dragon. This is the Arthur Hawkins copy of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Of course, Kaiba did get each of his 3 copies from different people. And this is Arthur Hawkins' version. Autonomous action using special summoning Judge Man, and Orgoth the Relentless, his new boss monster. Kaiba says no, we're not even gonna play that game. Up, left, down, right, A. Destroy Orgoth the Relentless. And but he does get the double draw too. Man, that is really lucky for Otogi, because none of the other effects would have mattered because Orgoth is already off the field. It was a very smart play to use. And there it is, Blue Eyes White Dragon with the Horomino Burst, stream destroying Otogi. I was going to say that an enemy controller there before its effect goes off is good, because Orgoth the Relentless can get a protection effect. So moving into the next game, Otogi is going to start us off here with 2 sets. Kaiba drawing with Lajin, the Mystical Genie of the Lamp, getting in on the Roulette Barrel, and Needle Wall coming down. Otogi has 2 chances to destroy this Lajin. Let's see how lucky he gets. Does he roll a 3? No. A 5. Does he roll a 4? No. And a second Roulette Barrel. Okay, we're trying again here. No, still no 4. That's fine. Again, defense mode is really, really good for these Roulette Barrel plays. Cost down, discarding to summon the Judge Man. Judge Man getting in on the Roulette Barrel, of course, and ending his turn. Is this still the... No, this is now, yes, so this is now the anime version of Cost Down, which does not require you to discard. Oh my god, rolling a 6 in the Roulette Barrel to destroy Judge Man, getting in with the Ryukishin power powered up by Black Pendant, and destroying Lajin. And then the other thing that Otogi also has here is a little bit of a machine focus to kind of represent the Gradius, even though that wasn't really his deck, that was just packs that he had opened. And so he doesn't have like Gradius and stuff like that, but I do think that like dark machines, I kind of felt like fit as well. So he's already got Roulette Barrel, of course. Oh, destroying Needle Wall there is so, destroying Wall of Illusion with Needle Wall there is so good. So he does have Dekoichi. I think Dekoichi is really his like one, besides Roulette Barrel, which is a dice card, so that's there for kind of a different reason. I think Dekoichi is really his one machine at this point, but I did feel like it kind of fit. 6, 6, 6. Oh my god, he rolled 3 6s in a row and a 2, unfortunately. Wishing that was a 4, but yeah, it was only a 2. Mystic Tomato and Kaiser Seahorse coming down. Kaiser Seahorse hitting into the Mystic Tomato. Mystic Tomato going into Mystic Tomato. And here we go. Kaiba's going to start crashing here. As you can see, Kaiba's Giant Rats have been switched out for Mystic Tomatoes, and that is because we will see why. We will see why that is soon. He's got Wall of Illusions. He's got, I don't think he's got Giant Germs in this. I don't remember if he's got Giant Germs, but he does have a lot of stuff that he can go into with that Mystic Tomato. One of them you've already, oh, there it is, the Crush card Virus coming down. That is an incredibly powerful card. This is, of course, not the anime version. I don't think we'll ever run the anime version of Crush card Virus. That card is insane. But the pre-errata version, I think, is perfectly balanced, as all things should be. And by perfectly balanced, I mean extremely busted and perfect for a 4.5-star duelist like Seto Kaiba. So yeah, really just so oppressive. And rolling the 4 on Needle Wall there. Premature Burial in maximum 6, perhaps? No, just a Black Pendant, that's fine. Getting in on the Kaiser Seahorse. And Kaiba, what do you got here? He was able to figure out a way to get in a big monster, even under Crush Card. Heavy Storm is, oh man, that's going to be the game. There's no way Otogi comes back from that. Mystic Tomato and La Jin getting in directly. And what do you have, Otogi? This could be your last turn. Tribute to the Doomed is, yeah, we know what the face down is there, brother. We've already seen it. Actually, we've already seen all of his hand, right? Morphing Jar. Oh, yes, and Kaiba does know what that is. Morphing Jar is going to let them draw 5 cards, but unfortunately, Kaiba does have the game with Kaiser Seahorse and La Jin. Kaiba taking an easy 2-0 from Otogi, and we are moving on. Next up, we have Step Johnny versus Diesel Kane. All right, show us what you got here. Step Johnny's going to start us off with a draw and a face down monster. Diesel Kane, what do you have? A Senju of the 1,000 Hands. And going into Zera the Mant. Senju getting in on the face down Witch of the Black Forest. Is that? That is not the pre-errata version of Witch. I am so sorry, Johnny. I seem to have made a major mistake with your deck. Hopefully that doesn't come up. The fact that the players didn't tell me about it means that it probably didn't come up. Or maybe if they did, they didn't notice. Anyways, Sakuretsu Armor destroying his Mystical Sand. And so Johnny's deck is just basically what his deck was in the anime, which is kind of like ladies. I don't know, ladies. Well, I know that it's because the two of them go into Musician King. So really what it is ladies that make level 6 fusions is really what it is. Musician King is, of course, his like main level 6 fusion. But the reason they have to be level 6, of course, is because of Fusion Weapon, which is his like main equip spell in this. And so he's got ladies and he's got level 6 fusions. That's really what it is. What are you going to do? I don't know. That's what his deck is, man. I don't know why Lady of Faith and Witch of the Black Forest make Musician King. I don't know. I've been thinking about it. Is it because Witch of the Black Forest like corrupts Lady of Faith? But why do they change genders? I'm not, hey, you know what? We support that. We love that. It's just like an interesting choice. It's just like, yeah, not only do we corrupt you, but you've discovered something new about yourself. It's kind of beautiful in a way. Is it really even corrupted? Maybe Lady of Faith was raised in a conservative church, you know? Maybe they were, you know, teaching, you know, banishing down the sins of women and repressing who you truly are. And Lady of Faith was like, fuck that, man. I'm a man. And you know what? I love heavy metal music. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Zera the Mant is getting in directly with double cost on as well. Trihorn Dragon, he's got both of them here. Now we can look at them directly next to each other. Look at these guys. Look at these gents. These are the same guy. These guys are not even, these are the same guy. Oh, sorry. Okay, game is over there. Diesel Kane does take quite an easy game. And here we are with game 2. Johnny's going to start us off with a Hibikime. Hibikime has a treble clef. I always thought it was a scythe. I think it is a scythe, but it's like doubling as a treble clef. And you know that that's not an accident because it's about noise. So that's why I know that Warrior of Tradition is already in Callie's deck, right? I know that. I don't usually like to give boss monsters to 2 different characters. Warrior of Tradition is not going to be a boss monster for that much longer because it's bad. So it's not like a boss monster as much as it is just like a guy that's in someone's deck. It becomes more of like a common card, not something that's like unique to one character. That's the A. But B, Sonic Maid. Hello, Sonic Maid. Now I wasn't going to give Empress Judge because Hibikime obviously makes Empress Judge. Empress Judge was going too far. That is Callie's like literal boss monster. I didn't want to just copy her whole flow word for word, bar for bar, no pun intended because we're talking about music. So instead, I did give him Hibikime because it is a lady and it does have a treble clef and it does use noise. But and thinking about Metal Morph to Hibikime, come on, that is exactly Johnny's step, right? It's like, oh, I have a treble clef and I'm making music, and then it like turns metal and it's like the treble clef turns into a guitar or some shit. I don't know what's wrong with me, guys. I don't know. Anyways, so I think Hibikime can just be like a level 4 just like guy in the deck, right? Instead of being a fusion material, but still Sonic Maid, oh no, never mind. Okay, yeah. Sonic Maid and Hibikime both I think really just do fit his music theme there. So anyways, what's going on in this duel? Not doing much. Oh my god, is that a second Mystic Tomato in the hand? You don't love to see that if you're Diesel Kane, but you know it's fine. Going the Dark Effigy here and cannot. Okay, just destroy. It was just a generic float. Okay, so wow, doing great here. That Metal Morph is what's happening. Why is Diesel Kane doing so badly here? One Metal Morphed guy is too much for Diesel Kane. Still can't get into the Zera the Mant. Is this the end of the game? What is going on here, Diesel? Poly into Mystical Sand Fusion Weapon. There it is, baby. Now, Diesel Kane does have Dark Hole, so you're really hoping you can win this turn, and you can't. Oh, no. Oh, no. Please, Johnny is begging there's no Dark Hole. Smashing Ground. Okay. Okay, that's not as bad as Dark Hole. We take those. We still have the Metal Morphed Hibikime on the field, which is fine. Which is Black Forest. And there it is. Step Johnny takes game 2. And now it's time for that all-important game 3. Senju going into Tri-Horn Dragon, setting 2 face downs. And let's see, what do we have? Pot of Greed from Johnny Step, summoning beautiful Head Huntress. She's beautiful. She's hunting heads. Hunting hands at this point, really, with that Senju. Anyways, double cuss on hitting in, basically uncontested. What are those? You got no face downs there, Johnny. Come on, show us a face down. Setting a face down monster. That's not quite what I meant, but hopefully it's something good. Senju coming down again. Now, Diesel Kane, it was not one of the few that got Manju. Manju was reserved for the most powerful duelist and also the duelist that like really needed it. That was the other kind of Manju is considered, I'm considering it like a relatively new card in the meta and one that only a few duelists have gotten their hands on. And I think like Kajiki, for example, has Manju because man, he's running a water deck. You don't want to run Senju and Sonic Bird. That's just so many cards. So I was like, all right, I'll give you 3 Manju. You only have to run 3 cards that aren't water and we'll call it a day, right? But yeah, Diesel Kane, his deck is fine. He's doing quite well, and he doesn't need the Manju just yet. Of course, probably by the next time we see Diesel, Manju will become a more common card, and it will be... same is true for Advanced Ritual Art, by the way. Advanced Ritual Art is only, I think only probably 2 duelists in the tournament have Advanced Ritual Art so far. Anyways, double cost on getting in directly. Beautiful Head Hunters coming down. That's got to be a Metal Morph face down. In the damage step does... the 7 tools of the bandit. That is extremely punishing because now Beautiful Head Hunters is gone. He takes 1200 damage. This is basically the end of the game. Dark Core is cool. Oh my god, Dark Bribe. Okay, at least you get your drawback, right? Dark Core I think works for Johnny as well because like there's something about like hardcore, like metal. I don't know, kind of, I can imagine for Johnny, it, like, you know, the way that it would be animated would like be like a guitar. I don't know, like banish. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Like there's kind of a heavy metal darkness to it. Anyways, Diesel easily takes down Johnny in game 3. We are moving forward. Next up, we have Kemo versus Professor Yoshimori. All right, we got Kemo starting us off with 2 sets, and Professor Yoshimori is going to respond with 3. Flipping the Cobra Jar, special summoning a token and potentially tributing for, yes, Bitelon, one of his boss monsters. Hitting in, Book of Moon for Professor Yoshimori, and Cobra Jar getting in on the Moai Interceptor Cannon. Professor Yoshimori has a little bit of like a rock flip deck, along with some other stuff. It's not fully just like a rock deck. Brain Golem coming down. You can kind of call it a Golem deck almost. There's a lot of Golem aspects to it. It's kind of just like a vibes kind of thing. Like it's kind of like Egypt kind of mixed with like a little bit of creepiness, like from Brain Golem. I think there's another character, or 2 more character, one in this tournament and one maybe a little bit later, that kind of is a little more dedicated to the flip strategy. And so, Ego Boost on Death Feral Imp coming in here, just enough to take out the Brain Golem, and Razor Lizard getting in directly. So, yeah, Yoshimori, you'll see as his deck goes on. There's a lot of really fun stuff in his deck, though. I really do like his deck. I like the kind of aesthetic. I think aesthetic is a big word for me when building decks. It's kind of just like... It's kind of like, forgive me for trying to catch a vibe, Razor Lizard is one of Kemo's new cards. That card is sick and very, very strong. Another reptile on the field, you can just immediately destroy any face down defense position monster that is attacked. Is it only face down? Yeah, only face down. So anyways, yeah, it's kind of just like a vibe, bro. It's kind of just like when I look at the deck, I want to be like, yeah, this shit is hitting, bro. This shit is matching an aesthetic. This is exactly what Yoshimori does. Okay, Kemo has a new strategy, which is Jar Turtle and 3 Jar of Greeds. 3 Jar Turtles, 3 Jar of Greeds. This MFer can draw like an MFer if you let him. Tribute to the Doomed, he's going for game here. Does he have it? Rock Spirit getting in directly, and Brain Golem for game. There it is. Yoshimori taking out Kemo in game 1. And in game 2 here, Kemo's going to start us off with a set monster. Professor Yoshimori is going to summon a Giant Rat. Giant Rat getting in on the Sinister Serpent is what that is. That's, of course, one of Kemo's new cards. Setting a face down, Sinister Serpent returning back to the hand as it does. It's the pre-errata version, of course. Death Feral Imp getting in on the Giant Rat. Giant Rat special summoning the Goggle Golem. This card is kind of good. You go into it with the Giant Rat. It's a Gemini monster. You normal summons itself, and it becomes a 2100 attack by monster. Not bad off the Giant Rat. It's basically specifically there to be a big guy after Giant Rat. Mirage of Nightmare, that is one of Professor Yoshimori's key spell cards, and I'm guessing if he's playing it that he's got a strategy. He's got a way to get that thing off the field before the standby phase, and it's Emergency Provisions. There it is, the Mirage of Nightmare Emergency Provisions combo coming down, allowing him to draw 4 cards. Mammoth Wajat going in on the Gale Lizard, so he's going to attack with the strongest monster because Gale Lizard wants to get the strongest monster off the field, but you still want to do as much damage as possible. So great play from Yoshimori there. Really, really cool play. The Mirage of Nightmare Emergency Provisions play. You absolutely love to see it. Cave Dragon coming in, Fusion Conscription, searching for the Cave Dragon so that he can summon another one next turn if he has to. I guess. Man with Wajat is worthless here. Black Pendant on the Rock Spirit. You hate to see it, folks. This is the game. Kemo is going down. Yeah, Kemo's just going to scoop there. Thank you, player. We don't want to watch it. We know. And so Yoshimori takes an easy 2-0 from Kemo. All right, next up we have Yami Yugi versus Shadi. All right, so here we have the first duel where there are 2 Millennium items at play. We'll go over the effects of these Millennium items, but first it should be noted that, yeah, Shadi made a beeline for Yami Yugi. Knew exactly what he was here for, knew exactly what he wanted, came straight to Yami Yugi. Okay, first we have the Millennium Puzzle. Yeah, this is gonna be pretty busted. Let's just say it right now, but not as good as you would think. It is something that the other player has to always be playing around. But if you play around it right, it actually ends up being a lot less useful than it seems. Okay. By the way, these are almost all based on dueling skills. I kind of just reskinned some dueling skills. There are a few, I don't know if they're in this tournament or that are coming up later. There's going to be a lot of skills in this. I'm excited about the skills. The skills open up a lot of possibilities for deck building and for characters and for world building. And I'm so excited to show off more of them as we go on. But anyways, I don't think there's necessarily any custom ones. I think these are all reskins of skills from Duel Links. Although there were a few issues with the scripts that we had to change. But anyway, it's fine. Millennium Puzzle. Once per turn, during your turn, place a counter on this card. If it has 3 or more counters when you would draw a card, you may search your deck for any card and add it to your hand instead. At the end of the turn, you use the skill, you lose the duel. So, this is a Heart of the Cards, essentially. It lets you add any card from your deck to your hand, but at the end of the turn, you lose the duel. Very, very risky to play. Essentially, you have to know that you can win that turn. Great way to play around Millennium Puzzle, always have a set card. Just make sure, no matter what, have some sets face down, because I don't know how they're gonna play it. I know for me, and we talked a little bit about it. If your opponent has a set card, you're probably not playing this unless it's a very, very last resort. And the thing is, you don't know what you're gonna draw, because you could draw something that could get you out of the situation that you're in and get you in a good position. So if you are like, you give up your draw to do this, and then it ends up they have a face down that stops you, like a Wabaku, for example, is enough to basically say I win the duel if you play Wabaku, right? And so it's very, very risky. So it is quite good if your opponent doesn't have a set card. I mean, you know, again, you can switch any card in your deck. It is very good. But if your opponent plays around it well, you have to be really strategic. It creates quite a few mind games between both players, and I'm interested to see how well they play around it. Next up, we have the Millennium Key. Now, this one I really wanted to kind of encapsulate the idea of, like, you know, where you kind of put the key to the head and like opens the mind, and I wanted to be like that against doing that against monsters. So you kind of this is okay. Imagine the imagery here, right? You can, once per turn during your main phase, you can change the battle position of one monster your opponent controls. This turn, you must attack that monster first, and you can use that skill twice per duel. So the Millennium Key is like controlling the monster and moving it into attack mode or defense mode, because you're like turning the key. Guys, 300 IQ up here. What the fuck are we doing? That's genius, okay? I'm sorry. Look, I am not a braggadocious man. I'm humble. So humble, okay? But come on, I deserve it. I love that idea for the Millennium Key. I think it's so cool. I love the idea of turning the key. And the Millennium Key, it's in the show, it's very much about, like, you know, like seeing into people's hearts and like being able to like understand them and like get into their, you know, psyche. And so I love the idea of like, I can control your monsters. And, you know, I'm not thinking, you're not literally, I don't want you to think of literally inserting the key like a damn toy soldier or something like that, you know, wind up kind of thing. That's lame. That makes it seem juvenile and silly. It's more just like, imagine Shadi standing from his side of the duel and kind of just like doing the motion, and the monster stands up. Now, also, I should say, while I'm talking about skills, whatever, we're talking about skills. I don't care. Shut up, okay? I know we got duels to do. We got duels to do here. This game is, it's whatever. Okay, but here's the thing. It's not a one-to-one of lore and skills in the game, right? Because at the end of the day, I want to make sure that the duels feel like they reflect the stakes of the world and feel like what happens in the world matters in the duels. I don't know. I don't think that necessarily in universe we want to consider these to be the exact powers of the items. I don't know if they actually have an effect on duels in the real, I mean, they do, but I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a level of abstraction from lore to tournament. I want the tournaments to represent the stuff that happens in the lore with these skills, but I don't want it to be seen as super literal necessarily. There's a level of abstraction of Shadi has the Millennium Key, and therefore he has certain levels of powers that do things and that will come up in the story in various ways. And I just want to represent that with these effects. You know what I mean? I don't know if we're literally saying that during the duel, Shadi is like, Millennium Key, doing this. We are kind of, but we're not necessarily. Like, okay, here's another example. Okay, here's another example of what I'm saying. This will make this one will make more sense perhaps. Okay, shadow games, right? You have to win in the beginning, in the intro. I explained that if you are a shadow game invoker, like let's say Yami Bakura, for example, in today's tournament, in the shadow games, the idea behind the reason that why you have to win the tournament in order to take the souls of the people in the tournament is because if somebody beats you before the end of the tournament, the idea is that those souls are being freed, and then therefore by the end of the tournament, they're safe. Now, literally what that would mean is, let's say Yami Bakura beats, I don't know, Ghost Kotezuka or someone like that in round 1. Ghost Kotezuka wouldn't be able to participate in the rest of the tournament because he's technically lost to the shadows or dead or whatever the hell, in hell or whatever, in that moment. But he's still participating in round 2, right? And Yami Bakura may not lose, or if he does lose, right? Just giving this as an example, until round 6 or whatever. So technically, if we were being like one-to-one literal in these tournaments with the lore, as soon as you lose any kind of shadow game to someone that uses shadow games, you should be out of the tournament until that person loses, right? That's what I mean by like, there's a level of abstraction to all of this. I still want the tournaments to be kind of like a focal point, and I still want the tournaments to go how they're normally going to go. So I don't want Ghost Kotezuka, for example, if he loses to Yami Bakura, I don't want him to be out of round 2. I still want him to be able to do his stuff in the tournament. So there's a level of like picking and choosing in tournaments of like what's real, kind of what's like a little bit of an abstraction, what's kind of representing things that are happening. There is real lore and there is gameplay. And in most games, there is a difference between them, right? And so in this, I'm doing my best to kind of mesh them together and make the gameplay feel like it represents the lore, but we don't have to be super literal with it. Okay, I'm a little bit later in the tournament, as you can see, but I wanted to just add in an insert into the Millennium item conversation to just say that like in Battle City, Yami Merrick's Millennium Rod makes it harder to duel against him because it makes you suffer, for example. It makes you take real damage. It makes you see the people that you love being lost, all of these things, right? Maybe that's more the kind of thing the Millennium items do, is that they have a mental effect on you. Maybe the wielder imposes some presence upon you. Those are examples, right? And so that can't be represented in a duel where they're just duels. We can have a skill that represents you're stronger in the duel because of your Millennium item. That's kind of what I'm saying. I don't know to what extent it's literal. For now, I think we can say that they're not necessarily literally affecting the duels. I might change that, but for now, I think it's more what we're saying is that it makes you a stronger duelist in some way. It makes you stronger in the world. And the duels are just representing that. The skills in the duels are just representing that. Anyways, back to our regularly scheduled programming with Yami Yugi versus Shadi. All right, we're gonna start with Yami Yugi here, giving us his Millennium Puzzle, getting a counter on that Millennium Puzzle. Graceful Charity coming down, sending Neo the Magic Swordsman and Apprentice Magician, and sending a face down card. Next up, Shadi's gonna set 2 cards and end his turn. Millennium Puzzle, of course, going off, getting the second counter, Burning Land. So Yami Yugi's deck is a little too varied to have one field spell. And so instead, he has Burning Land to stop all opponents' field spells. Now, this is the anime version of this card, which is really powerful. It is actually strong as fuck. You would think that 700 defense is not that big of a deal against, but in this early on, basically means your opponent can't really defend against you. And then, of course, it stops all field spells your opponent tries to activate. So it is really cool. I'm really glad that I found this. Tributing Neo Force Summon Skull, and now the third counter on Millennium Puzzle, which means at any point he can use its effect to hopefully win the duel. Shadi has basically, there's no better way to describe it than just an Egypt deck. You would think it's just zombies here, but it's really not. Oh, the Millennium Key activates to destroy Summon Skull. There it is. And it's hard to play on Millennium Key. It's easy to forget that card is there. And it is very much there. Fusion Reserve can go into Blackluster Soldier. Okay, I know Master of Dragon Soldier is here. I know there's King of the Swamp in this deck, but we have a gentleman's rule you have to actually have Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon and Blackluster Soldier to summon Dragon Master Knight, which means basically the opponent has that. You have to be playing against Kaiba, or Kaiba also has it. He has to be playing against Yugi. Anyways, Rebirth Tablet summoning Sengenjin, and Magic Cylinder on the Sengenjin is huge there, and Shadi does not have any face downs, which means you could... Oh no, he just did it. He just did it. Yeah, Millennium Puzzle Dark Hole, and oh my god. Oh my god. Shadi wins game 1. Wait, did you catch what just happened there? Okay. Yo, that was sick. Okay, I was just saying, Shadi doesn't have any face downs. He has 1250 life points left. This is obviously a Dark Hole Millennium Puzzle moment. You search your deck for Dark Hole, you summon basically anything, Neo the Magic Swordsman, and you win the game without any issues. Guys, Shadi had Sand Moth face down. Yugi scoops because he can't win the game that turn, and he immediately loses because of the Millennium Puzzle downside. Wow, I never would have thought of that. That's crazy. And wow, congratulations to Shadi. Alrighty, in game 2 here, Yugi's going to start us off. He's got a little bit of an uphill battle here. We've got 2 games he's got to win. Graceful Charity, sending Dark Magician and Summon Skull. Coming down with Regenerating Mummy. Shadi's deck is also very much just like catching a vibe. There's like an element of like flips and stuff like that, but it is kind of just like Egypt.deck. And I don't know, is that weird? Is that racist? No, I'm black. Egypt's in Africa, guys. I'm good, no problems. Infinite Dismissal, that is an anime version of that card played by Haga at one point, which stops Black Luster Soldier from attacking for the rest of the time that it's on the field. Tribute to the Doom, setting Engine and destroying Black Luster Soldier, and then setting a face down monster. Monster Reborn, bringing back the Black Luster Soldier, and now it is free to attack again. Fusion Reserve going into Sangan is interesting there. Summoning Sangan and getting in on Sandmoth, Sangan, and Gemini Elf attacking directly. Gotta be careful with those Sandmoths, man. That is still so funny that happened. I absolutely love that. It just shows exactly the kind of mind game of Millennium Puzzle. You think that you have the game, and boom. Okay, Morphing Jar coming down. They get brand new hands. Sending Magician of Faith is pretty sad there if you're Yugi, but you're fine. Okay, activating Pot of Greed there is huge. And yeah, Yugi's deck, I really did try to keep relatively faithful to Duelist Kingdom as far as the boss monsters, big plays. He does have Gaia the Dragon Champion, he's got Dark Magician, he's got Summon Skull, he's got BLS, but there's a lot more other stuff that supports that. That's a lot better. Now, Shadi is going in huge here. Now, one of the really important strategies for Shadi is Book of Life, Mizuki, Card of Safe Return. A lot of things to get stuff back from the graveyard. Now, here's the thing. Mizuki is obviously busted. Pyramid Turtle is obviously busted. These cards are super, super powerful, right? And the way that that's being offset is Shadi does have a strong zombie engine in his deck that allows him to do a lot of fun stuff, like sending Mizuki to the graveyard, but with one card combo into Mizuki, Pyramid Turtles, searching stuff. He has a lot of great stuff with that, right? But he has no zombie boss monsters. So the zombie engine is a strong level 4 engine that can do stuff like Card of Safe Return, gain advantage, and do a lot of cool stuff. Pyramid Turtle is probably the best floater in the game, one of them. But it's not like you can Pyramid Turtle into a Ryukoki or something like that. So that is kind of like one of the ways that's balanced. He has other boss monsters. So this allows him to do a lot of special summoning and gain a lot of advantage, but not, Soul Taker on the BLS. Why not destroy the sand again there is interesting. Cost down, setting it face down, and then flipping Real Keeper face down. Interesting. Okay. Dark Hole. He knows there's no Sandmoth this time. Okay, this is risky, but I think it's gonna work out. Poly into Gaia the Dragon Champion, coming down and attacking directly. What was that monster? It was Millennium Shield. Yeah, he does have a copy of Millennium Shield as well. Different artwork from Rebecca. So yeah, that one was risky, but he knew it wasn't Sandmoth this time. Okay, going on to game 3. All right, Shadi setting us off with a face down monster, and Yugi's going to draw here. Playing Millennium Puzzle, getting in for his counter. Swords Revealing Light to reveal that face down. It is the Pyramid Turtle. Neo getting in on the Pyramid Turtle and going into Gozuki. Love to see that. If you're a Shadi, you can send Mizuki now from the deck to the graveyard and just prepare to have a special summon zombie anywhere in your future, which fuels your tribute summon plays. It really, I love Shadi's deck. There's so many fun combos there, and I hope that we get to show them off as the games go on. Graceful Charity into Advanced Ritual Art, summoning his boss monster, Black Luster Soldier. United We Stand, that is the support from Anzu, and coming in with the other Magic Swordsman, destroying that Millennium Shield, and Witch of Black Forest and BLS going in directly. So one of the reasons that Shadi's deck is extremely consistent, he does have a lot of tribute summons. Some of them we haven't even seen yet, but like we have seen Sengijin, we have seen Millennium Shield, right? And Mizuki and Pyramid Turtle base. Oh, and there's one, Millennium Golem. So he does just like a Millennium deck. Sengijin being his boss monster. Mage Power, of course, is an extremely powerful card this early on. Oh, and there it is. Yugi's able to easily take the game, Brain Control into a Black Luster Soldier attacking directly for game. So Yami-Yugi is able to take the game from Shadi, but yeah, there's a lot of really fun, like Shadi's deck works. I mentioned this before. I love combining function and form when it comes to having a deck that feels like it fits a very strong, it has a strong personality, it has a strong aesthetic, it has a strong theme, but it also really works well together. And there's so many different moving parts of Shadi's deck that work really well together. And so hopefully Shadi gets to go far enough in the tournament for this to be shown off, because I really do love this deck. Okay, Yami-Yugi easily taking, not easily, that was a great match actually. Next up we have the Makey Brothers versus Insector Haga. All right, starting us off is the Mei, actually. This is Mei dueling because on the top is Mei, on the bottom is Q. That's from Casual Cooper. Very smart idea there. Kaiser Seahorse coming down. This is a little bit, Q brothers do have a little bit of their GX strategies. Oh, Sangha of the Dunder, a Parasite Worm. This is a card that Haga actually plays in Duelist Kingdom. Extremely powerful. It's a Ring of Destruction on summon, except it only afflicts to your opponent. He does use Silent Doom. Silent Doom is especially strong for these. This is the anime version of Silent Doom, by the way. It can be used on normal monsters. Especially strong for these Sangha, Suijin, and Kazejin, because their effects still work even in defense mode, so they're really, really hard to get over. Giant Rat floating in the defense wall here, so he can go into defense position. So yeah, that is a card that they play in GX. This is a relatively early era of Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's not so early that we want to play. They use a lot of garbage in Duelist Kingdom, like Monster Tamer and Dungeon Worm. That stuff, we're past that. Maybe if they were in Season 0, they would have had that stuff, but here they do have a little bit of their GX support. Notably, they do not have Dark Guardian. That is a little too much. Gate Guardian is still their boss monster. And so again, with a lot of these decks, what I want to make sure I do is represent their decks in the boss monsters, but not necessarily represent their decks in all of the support plays, and make their support plays a lot more strategic to be able to get into their boss monsters better. Haga here, as you can see, has Empress Mantis, which I think that really works for Haga because Insect Queen. So he's got, like, I think Empress Mantis very much fits the theme of his deck, and it's a very, not very strong, but a decent one tribute monster to be able to get into. Haga is in a lot of trouble here. These two Sangha of the Thunders, Snatch Steal, okay, and then Insect Armor. Now he can finally get over this Sangha of the Thunder. He's gonna have to take 2200 damage. Insect Imitation, Tributing Hercules Beetle to get into another Empress Mantis. This is really bad for Mei. Trap Hole of Spikes, okay, and that's gonna stop this. Oh my god, that's gonna stop this play. Haga does have Snatch Steal. Snatch Steal is reserved for a few characters that are like sort of the thieves and villains of the universe. Okay, Stray Lambs here is great for Mei. He's able to, you can't summon the monster that turn, but you can set it, and its effect still goes off in the middle of damage calculation, so it does go off after it's flipped. That's very good. And then of course you can flip it next turn, and it is a Suijin. Now Reasoning coming down. You gotta choose 7 against the Q brothers. They have Twin Twisters, as you saw there, because they're twins, right? I thought that really worked for them. Twin Twisters, twins, yeah. Anyway, Suijin getting in on Empress Mantis here, and I don't know if you ever summon Gate Guardian, right? There's no reason to ever summon it. It's such a bad card. And Sangha and Suijin and Kazejin are just so good in this, so why would you ever summon? I think that the Mei player should have put Sangha in attack mode, right? That would have prevented some of the issues from before. I think that when you Silent Doom, it's easy to forget that you can switch it to attack mode, even if you can't attack. So yeah, Howling Insect going into Hercules Beetle here, and then going into Petite Moth. Wait a minute. Cocoon of Evolution and equipping the Petite Moth. Cocoon of Ultra Evolution coming down. The Great Moth, Haga's boss monster, coming in. And I would have attacked Sangha there, right? Because you can attack it. Its effect has already gone off once, so you can destroy it by battle. It is not a once per turn. It's once per on the field. And okay, now the player realizes, hey, I need to put this in attack mode because that makes my monster just a stronger guy to be able to defend. He might have gone for Unshaven Angler because Suijin is on the field. I don't know, because Suijin could be in the hand and he could tribute for another Suijin, which is pretty bad for Haga. And yeah, oh, Wall of Illusion is really, really tough there. Wall of Illusion, of course, fitting their kind of wall theme, labyrinth wall kind of thing. That looks like a Man-Eater Bug face down. Haga does have Man-Eater Bugs, which is very powerful, of course. In this format, you got to destroy the Suijin here because Sangha can't attack because it is Silent Doomed. Yes, okay, good. You remembered that. And okay, what do you have, Haga? A Girochin Kuwagata with an Insect Armor with Laser Cannon, getting in on the Whirlwind Prodigy. I'm not sure why you played Insect Armor there. And can you tribute for, okay, first Suijin. Doesn't have Kazejin in hand, but that's fine. He does have a Suijin, which means that resets that effect. He does have 2 copies of each Suijin, Kazejin, and Sangha. Arsenal Summoner, of course, allows you to search Gate Guardian from the deck, which is why this is in here. And it's just decent level 4, 1600 attack point monster. That is another Man-Eater Bug face down. Jirai Gumo. Getting, okay, now he has to destroy the Jirai Gumo here, and no, it doesn't matter. He still loses the duel, and there it is. Q brothers taking game 1. All right, in game 2 here, Haga is starting us off with a Flying Kamakiri, it looks like, face down, and going, Q brothers playing Pot of Greed, Giant Rat. Now, Flying Kamakiri is not great as a floater in an insect deck, but he does have it in Battle City. And so, again, like Fortress Will is another example of this. The balance of these decks is a little bit stronger than what Duelist Kingdom actually was. And so a lot of their Battle City cards that are going to be too weak to play later on, I put in their Duelist Kingdom decks because I did want to represent that era of their deck at some point. And so, yeah, Flying Kamakiri #1 can just always float in Flying Kamakiri #2. Oh, wow, was he out of Giant Rats? He was, and he had to go into Labyrinth Wall because apparently he had no other targets there. Or maybe he just wanted to do the Silent Doom play here. Now he's got 2 big guys. Jirai Gumo might be in attack mode, but it's basically in defense mode because you don't want to attack with it. You lose half your life points if you clip the coin wrong. And so instead, he just got 2 guys, 1600 on the Flying Kamakiri. And now, what do we have? Haga playing Pot of Greed, going into Instant Armor with Laser Cannon. Haga is one of the characters that does get Pot of Greed, and it fits. He's very greedy. Oh, Cocoon of Ultra Evolution in the middle of the battle phase, getting in with the Great Moth on the Jirai Gumo. Cocoon of Ultra Evolution, then using its effect, allowing him to draw a card, and setting what looks like a Howling Insect face down. All right, Tribute to the Doom, destroying Great Moth is great here. And then Premature Burial to bring the Suijin back. Wow, a perfect play from the Paradox Brothers, Makyu Brothers. Hitting into Howling Insect going into Howling Insect. And what do we have? Howling Insect is a much better floater for Insect decks. And I doubt, oh, Heavy Storm is good here. You have to do it. And know that you don't love to 1-for-1 with Heavy Storm, but being able to hit the Premature Burial is just too important not to be able to do. And there you go. Now he summons Girochin Kuwagata going in on that face down monster. It is a Whirlwind Prodigy and setting a face down card. Makyu Brothers setting another face down and ending their turn. Girochin Kuwagata attacking, ooh, the Wall of Illusion. That's not that bad because you haven't really normal summoned this turn, and you just summon Girochin back into the field, and it's fine. Basically 150 down, and Soul Exchange. Okay, tributing the face down monster. It is a Howling Insect for Kazajin, and there's the Parasite Worm coming down again. That card is so powerful. One of, Haga is a very good deck. Snatch Steal, Parasite Worm, Cocoon of Ultra Evolution. He's got a lot of really good staples that do set his deck apart. So, oh, Snatch Steal on Labyrinth Wall. Is he going for game here? He might be going for game, but that's a risky play. Snatch Steal is good there, but it's tough because if he's got the Kazajin, Suijin, Sang of the Thunder, etc., you really wanted to save that Snatch Steal. Maybe he has other ways to get around it. Okay, Empress Mantis on the defense wall there. So they do have, like, as you can see, a wall theme, Labyrinth Wall, Wall of Illusion, defense wall. Whoa, what a play. Ryoku on the defense wall to make sure that Wall of Illusion can stay in defense mode there and not lose. They don't lose the duel next turn. So Insect Imitation into another Empress Mantis. Huge for Haga. Unless there's a trap card, Haga is going to be taking game 2 here. Do they have a trap card? They do not, and Haga takes game 2. All right, Makyu Brothers going in game 3. I don't think that there's a Labyrinth tank in their extra deck. I think that I don't think they can actually get into that. I think that was from an early version of the deck, and I forgot to take it out, I think. Anyways, Haga does have his field spell Forest. And tributing Kaiser Seahorse for Sangha of the Thunder is huge. Man-Eater Bug destroying the Sangha of the Thunder. It was tough figuring out which floaters to put in their deck, right? Because Kaiser Seahorse can't be floated into by Shining Angel, but Flying Kamakiri can float into Whirlwind Prodigy, and Mother Grizzly can float into Unshaven Angler. And so I played around with a lot. Eventually I ended up with Giant Rat, so you don't float into any of those 2 tribute monsters. Instead, you can float into Labyrinth Wall, which I thought was a lot better for it plays exactly like this. When you attack the Giant Rat and your opponent does not have a way to get around Labyrinth Wall, you can go right into your Labyrinth Wall from the deck, and that does allow Labyrinth Wall, which is a little bit of a kind of bad card. It's relatively good this early on, honestly. 1 tribute, not that bad. Ooh, going into Reasoning here is great for the Makyu Brothers. It basically just allows you Labyrinth Wall to be a little more live. Okay, and of course they're going to choose 7. You kind of have to. Cost down, that is the anime version of that. And another Parasite Worm. He draws it all 3 duels. So good, so good. And he's got Man-Eater Bug face down. This could be the game right here, actually. Is this going to be the game? Going into Empress Mantis, there it is. The Makyu Brothers do not have any Kuribos or anything, electromagnetic turtles. And there it is. Haga taking game 3 from the Makyu Brothers. Very good. And there it is. As you can see, this is one of those games where I was like, oh, maybe Yugi and Haga could duel in round 2, and it looks like they will. So that's going to be an anime duel. It's going to be fun. Next up, we have the Player Killer of Darkness. Oh, wait, this is Panic now. So, yeah, Player Killer of Dark. I ended up going with his dub name, Panic, because Player Killer of Darkness was like a fun idea to me, and I was like, I want all the player killers to have a player killer of something. So his name in the Japanese version is just Player Killer of Darkness. So instead I went with his English name for like his name, and then Player Killer of Darkness is his title. And so all the player killers have titles like Player Killer of Darkness. So that was kind of fun. So that's the reason why I ended up just calling him Panic, but I forgot to change it in the bracket after I made that decision. So whatever. Prana Taker versus Player Killer of Darkness coming up. Okay, starting us off here, we have... Oh, wait, let's talk about the Millennium Scales. Prana does have the Millennium Scales. Okay, at the start of your opponent's turn before they draw, you may look at the top 3 cards of their deck and rearrange them in any order. The skill can be used once per duel. So I felt like this was kind of a Millennium Scales. I don't know. There's something about, like, being able to, like... there's like the 3 cards, there's like an element of like balancing which one. I don't really know what it is, but it kind of felt like it worked for me just like thematically with the Millennium Scales, and I feel like it's pretty cool. So there you go. And then of course, Player Killer of Darkness here does have Power of Dark from Mr. Crocketts. The other thing that I want to say is Player Killer of Darkness's deck was tough. I think that there's a lot that you can do with his defense mode like deck, And it's a little too early for that deck to be full power. And so honestly, Panic's deck is a little bit weaker. Oh, Robin Goblin hitting the Pyramid Turtle there is pretty good. It's a little bit weaker than it probably should be. I don't expect it to do quite well in the tournament today. I think that by the next time that we see Panic, I don't know when that's going to be exactly, but oh my God, Robin, oh, you do not want to despair of the, you do not want to Robin Goblin against Prana Taker. Her Despair of the Dark is, oh wow. And Pyramid of Wonders defends Despair from the Dark. Huge, huge play there. She gets into her boss monster because the Panic player just completely forgot. I would have forgot too. And then Millennium Scales, the way you want to use that is use that when your opponent is like down, and then you can force them to draw a card they really don't want, and you can continue your advantage. Although they do have Wall of Illusion, so that's pretty good for the Prana player. So yeah, the thing about Panic, there's like a much better version of, there's a much better way to do this deck than I did here. And I think that it was just, ooh, Castle Walls and Cross Counter. This is sort of the big strategy. Using Cross Counter to do tons of, oh, but you had to do Robin Goblin there. Oh my God, did they forget or did they just not really think about it? I'm not really sure. Anyway, this is the anime version of Castle of Dark Illusions. The thing is that this effect, it doesn't work the way you want it to work. You can't, here's the problem. I don't know if Ignis maybe just doesn't have the scripting for this. You can't attack while these monsters are set. So there's no reason to ever do this. It's bad. You can't even flip them. You can't even flip summon them. What would have been great is if you could summon them face down to attack, flip them to attack, and then flip them back face down, which would be at least like a little cool, although honestly your opponent would know what it is at that point anyway. But that I could at least see some value coming out of that. The way that it is, there's no reason to ever use this effect. Still, I wanted it to be in there because it's kind of cool. And unique, but yeah. So there's, like I was trying to say, oh my God, another Wall of Illusion to send Despair from the Dark back to the hand again, and Call of the Mummy coming down to special summon Despair from the Dark from her hand. So yeah, I'm a little unhappy with Panic's deck. It's just not that good. It's just the true fact of the matter. Ooh, Dark Hole here, going into Call of the Haunted, and then potentially, okay, no, just, okay, that's fine, because you wanted to get around the Wall of Illusion without losing your Despair from the Dark again. And so the thing is, it's just, it was either be way too strong or way too weak. There wasn't a right way to find the exact balance that I wanted for Panic's deck in this tournament. Once the other decks get a little bit stronger, I can kind of bring Panic's deck up to where it should be. But really, a lot of the decks just don't have a way to deal with having like a bunch of assholes in defense mode with a ton of defense points and like cross counter, Robin Goblin. Like there's a really fun way to build that deck, and I promise that we will see that at some point. There are only echoes of that here in Panic's deck because I balanced for so long and it was just too. It was either is this going to be too strong or is it going to be too weak, and I erred on the side of too weak. So yeah. All right, we got Panic starting us off with Yellow Luster Shield, and so now Prana's deck is interesting too. What I want to do with Prana's deck is build a zombie deck that's not based on, like, zombies. Like, I know that's a weird concept, but there's a lot of cards that are zombie type that are not, like, literally, like, undead bodies raised from the grave. Like, I don't know exactly how to describe it. It's kind of like almost like mummies is, like, a way to think about them. Like, Zombie Master, for example, right, is, like, you can, that is like a classic like zombie. Oh, Dark Dust Spirit is huge here. Wow, that's great. She has one copy of that. Malevolent Catastrophe is not bad. Getting rid of all of her face downs. What were they? Offerings of the Doom and Call of the Haunted. Okay, and then Dark Dust Spirit, of course, returns the hand. Millennium Scale to hopefully prevent him from doing anything, setting 3 cards. So yeah, Prana's deck is trying its best to be like it's more based on like spirits, ghosts, like other sort of undead things. With a little bit of an Egyptian kind of like pyramid turtle here, as you can see, but not like classic zombies for the most part. I think Dark Dust Spirit is kind of on the fence, right? It's like kind of zombie-ish, but you know what I mean. So hopefully we'll get to see more of that. Obviously some of them still are like Despair from the Dark, even in Fear from the Dark, right? They're not like zombies, they're more like ghosts or spirits. And spirits is kind of like where the sweet spot of Prana's deck. Now, again, there are some others, like I know that Master Kianchi is in there, and it is like an undead samurai. It's like basically a classic zombie, but it doesn't quite look like one in the same way that stuff like Zombie Master does. So that was kind of the aesthetic I was going for with Prana's deck, and I'm pretty happy at what I landed on, but there's more things that we'll see from Prana's deck in future eras, and that we can say for certain. Anyway, Panic is setting a monster here. The problem with Panic's deck, the reason why it's not very good is because he doesn't have that many win conditions is the problem. He can't like do that much damage. And so even though the defense mode strategy is like relatively okay, the thing that will change as his deck goes on in future seasons is that it will actually have the power to like close out games a little bit better. Shoots Doji is another example. This is not like your classic like undead. It's like a spirit, right? Anyways, Prana Taker, relatively easily taking 2 games from Panic there. Wasn't paying that much attention to the duel, but I wanted to talk, okay? I love to talk. Next up, we have Yami... Oh, wait, I didn't even realize that I put Yami Bakura versus Ghost Kozuzuka. That is an anime duel. When I was giving the example earlier, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, come on, what are we doing here? Okay, I'll do this, and I'll see you in Yami Bakura versus Ghost Kozuzuka. All right, starting us off, we have Yami Bakura, and notice that he also has this power of dark, but not from Mr. Crocketts. There's an interesting sort of, I don't know what's going on there. Wonder where he got that from. Notice also, sorry, I just spoiled some of Bakura's face-on cards there, the Millennium Ring. This one, I'm really happy with what we discovered with the Millennium Ring. So, activate the skill when your opponent activates their skill. When this skill is activated, negate your opponent's skill and draw 2 cards. The skill can only be used once per duel. So the Millennium Ring in the anime is the one that can find all of the other Millennium items. It's like the little radar locator. That's also the case in our lore. But the way that I wanted to represent that in duels is that this is the Millennium item counter. This card counters all other Millennium items. And the thing is, once you know that this card exists, if you're using a skill against Yami Bakura, you just won't use your skill, right? So the way that we came up with this for the players was I'm keeping a list of every duelist who has played against Yami Bakura to try to kind of help Yami Bakura not just have like it wouldn't be worthless because your opponent wouldn't activate it, but you never get to like use the Millennium Ring, which I thought was kind of boring. So if a duelist is facing off against Yami Bakura for the first time, then I've instructed the player, and they have a list of who this is, which no one's faced off against him as of now. So every time they face someone, he faces someone for the first time in this tournament. But this will last throughout tournaments. Like in 10 tournaments, if Ghost Kozuzuka and Yami Bakura duel, and Ghost Kozuzuka happen to have a skill, which I don't know why he would know to play around the Millennium Ring, right? Because he's already dueled Yami Bakura, although he didn't have a skill in this one, so maybe, I don't know, I'll have to think about that. But anybody that duels against Yami Bakura is keyed into what his Millennium Ring does after. But for the first time, they do activate their skill because they don't know that's the Millennium Ring does. That's kind of a way to simulate that. And so the players have a list of when to activate their Millennium item versus when not to, based on who that player is. Anyways, let's continue. Dragon Zombie getting into Doomsday Horror. This card is very cool, and it's in a few of the decks today. This goes very well with his Dark Necrofear engine, and so hopefully we'll get to see some of that go off today. Next up, we have Pyramid Turtle coming in. Dragon Zombie hitting into Wall of Illusion, while Dragon Zombie getting bounced back to the hand, of course. Yami Bakura has a very powerful Fiend deck, and so I like what, I also got this idea from Casual Cooper, because obviously there's 2 different decks that Yami Bakura uses in the anime. The first one is the Duelist Kingdom deck, which is basically what the Rio Bakura deck is right now. And the second one is the Battle City deck. And so what Casual Cooper did, which I kind of agree with, was making the Season 1 deck the Rio Bakura deck and making the Battle City deck the Yami Bakura deck. And so that worked. I think that works really well. Makes a lot of sense, even though they were both Yami Bakura in the anime. It's fine. I do kind of like that divide. So that's why Bakura has the just normal straight up Fiend Dark Necrofear deck. He also has quite a powerful Obstaclops here, right? That's his level 18. That's his 1800 strongest level 4 vanilla. And oh, we have Anime Pumpkin, the King of Ghosts. Yeah, when this card is summoned, all the zombie monsters you control gain 10% of their attack, and they gain 10% of their attack at the start of each of your turns. This card is so silly, and I love it. Why did they make Pumpkin, the King of Ghosts need Castle of Dark Illusions? Why did they do that? Panic is the one that uses Castle of Dark Illusions. Ghost Kozuzuka is the one who uses Pumpkin the King of Ghosts. Why would they try to make those work together? Maybe the cards came out before the anime, but I don't think they did, okay? So it's just so, I've always hated that, okay? That they rely on 2 cards. It's, okay, I've always been a character deck guy. Like, ever since I was a kid, I always loved making character decks. But it just, like, was one of the things that always frustrated me was that Pumpkin was worthless in Ghost Kozuzuka's deck unless you gave him Castle of Dark Illusions. And I think Castle of Dark Illusions, I don't remember its normal effect, but I think it might be the same. Anyways, I love this version of Pumpkin. It is really strong, and it's pretty strong. And so we'll get to see, hopefully, a lot of fun stuff with that. Anyways, the Great Mammoth of Gold Find coming out, called the Haunted, bringing Pyramid Turtle back, and Pyramid Turtle getting in on Obstaclops. Pyramid Turtle, of course, again, is like an extremely powerful floater, but it is like it is, you know, made a little bit worse here. Oh, and there's Bakura's Skull Lair, banishing 6 cards to destroy. Wait, what just happened? Wait, did he? Wait. Let's watch that again. Oh, he used it to destroy Pumpkin. Did he make a mistake? I don't know what just happened. Anyways, Goldfind will not be powered up anymore. So Pyramid Turtle is very strong, obviously, but it is nullified by the fact that the best thing you can go into is Pumpkin, which is good in Ghost Kotesuka's deck, but Ghost Kotesuka's deck is not great. And so, you know, Pumpkin is relatively strong, but it is offset by the fact that a lot of his cards are pretty bad. And so Pyramid Turtle, again, not floating into like really powerful stuff like Ryukoki, like it was in like, you know, like Goat format glory days, the zombie and stuff like that. So yeah. Next up, we have Pyramid Turtle coming in. Prana Taker is the only one who has like really good... Actually, I don't even know what her floats are with Pyramid Turtle. I don't think they're that great either, now that I think about it. Anyways, Dark Hole coming down. You hate to see that. So yeah, Bakura has a great strategy built around like messing with the Banish Zone and Graveyard. You'll notice also that Skull Lair is in a few decks here. Dark Necrophore, there it is. So Doomsday Horror is a great card to be able to put all your banished monsters back into the graveyard and Escape from the Dark Dimension. There it is to take the game. Doomsday Horror. Oh, no, not yet. My bad. Doomsday Horror, Escape from the Dark Dimension. It gains 300 attack points for every banished dark monster. Dark Necrophore, of course, banishes a lot of dark monsters. And so does Skull Lair. So there's a lot of like really cool, interesting synergies there. And then Dark Necrophore, yeah. And so Ghost Kotesuka scoops the game there. So Doomsday Horror can either just be a big guy if you have enough banished monsters, or you can just kind of set it and let it go to the graveyard if you need more cards back in your graveyard to reset your Skull Lairs and reset your Dark Necrophore. So again, a very cool card for a Skull Lair Dark Necrophore deck. Moving on to the next game, we have Ghost Kotesuka starting us off with a Pyramid Turtle and a Face Down. Yambakura getting in with Opticlops on the face down monster. Pyramid Turtle floating into, of course, Pumpkin, the King of Ghosts. Of course, it is there are no other zombie monsters to gain from its effect right now, so he's going to have to try to keep it on the field for one more turn to hopefully make that work. Stimpack coming out, attacking into the Opticlops. And what do we have? Okay, Yambakura is just setting 2 here. Pumpkin is finally starting to power up that monster. Oh, this is interesting. It's losing 200 attack, but gaining 10% of its attack every turn. So that's going to be some weird math. Giant Germ floating into 2 Giant Germs. Obviously, Kaiba used this, not Bakura, but it is great because this is a deck that loves to get Fiends into the graveyard. So you just kind of have to run Giant Germ in this deck. It just really, really synergizes well with his whole strategy. Okay, Pumpkin moving into attack mode, starting to attack. A little risky because you do like to keep Pumpkin on the field as long as possible, but you do kind of want to start getting over Bakura's monsters, so it makes sense. The problem is that you not only set up his Dark Necrophore play with that. Yeah, that was a bad play because you knew you were setting up Dark. Okay, Trap Hole of Spikes is okay here, but of course it's going to be able to steal the Armored Zombie. You knew that you were setting up the Dark Necrophore play, which is fine, but in that case, why switch Pumpkin to attack mode to attack? Like, you basically set up him to get Dark Necrophore and then put your monster in a position where it could lose to Dark Necrophore together. Like, you could have just done one of those and it would have been fine. Anyways, without Pumpkin on the field, that Armor Zombie is getting weaker every turn. Come on, Ghost, you gotta have something. Polymerization into the Great Mammoth of Goldfind. Call of the Haunted to bring back Pyramid Turtle is... Okay, I see what we're doing here. We're floating into Pumpkin. I don't know why you didn't just call the Haunted on Pumpkin. Oh, because you want it in defense mode. Okay, no, that's a great play, actually. That was a really good play. If you call the Haunted on Pumpkin, it just dies to Opticlops. But instead, okay, MST. MST is great there. Now he can bring Dark Necrophore back and destroy Pumpkin, the King of Ghosts. Okay, but Great Mammoth of Goldfind is still pretty big, but you can't destroy Dark Necrophore is the problem. And Dark Necrophore can crash into you and then take your monster. Now, that will be during Bakura's end phase, so you'll still have a chance. Oh, Night Assailant. That's going to be the game, right? He's got to be able to take the game here. Yep, that's it. Getting in with all the little guys here. 200, 1K, 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 and 22 to take off the game. Yambakura easily knocking out Ghost Kotesuka in the tournament, but Ghost Kotesuka did a good job. All right, next up we have Bandit Keith versus Bright Sparks. Bandit Keith starting with a Mechanical Chaser. Bright Sparks, what are you going to do? That is a very powerful vanilla. Bandit Keith has the 1850. Of course, Yugi does have 1900s. I believe that he has the second strongest normal monsters in the world right now. I guess you should just say level 4 beaters. They're not always normal monsters, but yeah. Bright Sparks hitting him with the Firecracken on the Blast Sphere. That's one of Bandit Keith's cards, of course, from Duelist Kingdom. And getting interacted with the Ladies Assailant of Flames. Bandit Keith, what do you have? Setting a monster for us, and okay, Bright Sparks might be taking... okay, whoa, great play. Spiritual Fire Art to stop the Blast Sphere and tribute the monster off into Firewing Pegasus, her mini-boss, and destroying the Megasonic Eye. This is, of course, I believe the manga version. I don't even know if it's anime, but it basically is just, instead of being a level 5, it's a level 4, because, you know, whatever. Now, Pendulum Machine coming down, and then 7 completed to boost it and destroy the Firewing Pegasus. All right, Bright. Heavy Storm, Magic Jammer. Okay. Raging Flame. Oh, she must have face downs. Okay, she's got a plan here, right? Swords are feeling like huge. So Bandit Keith's deck, of course, alongside with having machines, has a lot of ways to negate spell cards. In Duelist Kingdom, machines were just generally unaffected by spell cards. That's not something that we're representing in this in any way. And so instead, that's represented by a lot of different spell negation. And hopefully we'll see some of that. Tribute to the Doom, that is a card that Bandit Keith plays a little bit later when he's got his Zero the Man deck, which is weird because he's the machine guy. Why do we give him Zero the Man? I don't know. I never liked that. He does not have that in our world. Okay, Bright Spark setting. It looks like a Fire Kraken. Towards Wing Light is over. Inari Fire getting in on the face down is a Gear Golem, the Moving Fortress. All right. Bandit Keith getting in on the Inari Fire. If Bandit Keith beats Bright, I can think of how that's going to go. I can think of how that's going to go. I won't say much right now, but he's not going to be nice about it. We can say that. Pot of Greed, drawing 2 for Bandit Keith and getting in on the Fire Kraken. Okay. Come on, Bright. Bandit Keith, of course, does have quite a lot of high-level monsters that have to be tribute summoned, but he does have a lot of good defenders like Gear Golem and stuff like that to help get those monsters out. Foxfire coming back in defense mode. Fencing Fire Ferret. I believe she still only has 1 copy of this. She only had 1 in the last 2 tournaments. She still only has 1. I tested around with a few different versions. She might have 2, maybe. Ooh, Soul Exchange. Great way to get around Fencing Fire Ferret. And then he sets a monster there. That must be Slot Machine. That's what that is. Ooh, Fire Recovery to get it back and sending Ignorhorse to the graveyard, which could end up being useful later on. Fencing Fire Ferret using its effect to destroy the Pendulum Machine. And then Fire Recovery sending Fencing Fire Ferret and a few others back to the deck. And then summoning Firewing Pegasus. Great play there from Bright. You don't love... Oh, 7 completed on the Slot Machine to get over the Firewing Pegasus. You don't love having to send Ignorhorse back to the deck because you don't want to draw it, and it has a lot of utility in the graveyard, but I think that was the only fire monster she had in the graveyard there. Graceful Charity coming down from Bright, discarding 2 cards, summoning Fire Kraken, and setting a card. Come on, Bright, you can do this. Slot Machine, of course. Oh, Widespread Dud. Okay, yeah, you knew she had some kind of trust. 7 tools of the Bandit. Of course, he's the Bandit. That is his 7 tools, man. The Bandit Keith, bro. You gotta have 7 tools of the Bandit in Bandit Keith's deck. Setting a monster and ending her turn. Come on, what do we have? Okay, still no way to push this advantage. UFO Turtle getting destroyed, going into another UFO Turtle. And Bright is in not a bad position here. She's got Foxfire to help her hold the field and UFO Turtles and setting a face down card. Hopefully that is something and not just a bluff. And okay, getting in on another UFO Turtle. She's able to float, of course, into more UFO Turtles. And he sets 2 cards face down. Interesting. Now she's going to set another one. It looks like an Inari Fire face down and then a UFO Turtle in defense mode. Slot Machine getting in on the Inari Fire. He cannot push. This is what I mean. Sometimes Bandit Keith can be a little bricky. This is kind of true in all of Bandit Keith's iterations because he has so many high-level monsters in Duelist Kingdom back when, of course, you can just summon them. But I think in Master Era and in all the video games and stuff, I think Bandit Keith is represented by having a lot of high-powered monsters so that make his deck slightly bricky, and that is sort of always one of the checks on his power. But he does have a lot of very powerful cards, and he does have a lot of ways to get those cards out from the hand. And hopefully we'll see some of that as tournament goes on. Lady Sealant of Fame is banishing 3. Oh my god, what a horrible banish there. She did want the effect because inflicting 800 is great when he's got so little life points, but Fire Recovery, Fencing Ferret, and Ring of Life are 3 of her best cards. Heavy Storm coming down because he's hoping to take the game right now. And wait, I do want to see what... Oh, Snatch Steal. This game is over. She did Ferret Flames the... I don't remember what he had there, but it was something. Oh, Gear Golem, that's what it was. Look at this. Spell Shield type 8 Magic Deflector. So there you go. Those are the other 2 cards that he uses to negate spell cards. And both of them are very machiney, so I like them a lot. Metal Morph, of course, was another face down. Great, just very cool cards that he's got there. Okay, now Helping Robot for combat and 7... Slot Machine getting in for game. Oh, great game there. Only 950 life points left from Keith, and unfortunately, Bright could not take the duel. All right, Bright is starting us off here with a UFO Turtle face down and a face down card. Bandit Keith coming in with the Mechanical Chaser. Of course, this card is so powerful this early on, and floating into UFO Turtle. He sets 3 face downs, knowing that Bright is not one of the duelists that has Heavy Storm, unfortunately for her. So the player is, of course, taking advantage of that. Salamandra on the Fire Kraken. You're expecting this is probably going to... Magic Deflector. Oh, man. This card is actually really good this early on because there's so many equip spells. Of course, this is the field spell era, as I mentioned, and there's, of course, a lot of quick play spells as well. And some duels have continuous as well. It just negates basically all spells except for ritual and normal spells. That's good. Cost down, tributing the Mechanical Chaser. That is, of course, the anime version of Cost down for probably Pendulum Machine. I'm guessing that she is reading the Pendulum Machine, so not going to attack. Oh, no, Cost down, of course. It's a level 7. Yeah, Launcher Spider. Great from Bandit Keith there. Helping Robo from combat is another one of those cards. Okay, I'm really happy with Helping Robo in this deck. And in fact, I wasn't going to put Metal Zoa in the deck. Heavy Storm Magic Jammer, that other face down must be really good. He did keep the 7 tools in the hand in case he needed to play Magic Jammer. But Salamandra to crash, and yeah, it's Metal Morph. Yeah, you knew he was protecting something important there. But I was not going to put Metal Zoa in his deck because it's so bad, right? Metal Zoa can only be summoned from the deck, which means that if it's in your hand, it is completely dead. And so helping Robo for combat, once I was putting this in his deck anyway because it very much fits his aesthetic of creepy, evil-looking, feeling machines. And once I realized that this card actually is exactly what you want if you're using... Oh, and there it is. Keith, 2 O's, Bright Sparks. Oh, man, she's not going to be happy about that. But helping Robo for combat, you know, it is exactly... It works so... It is so synergistic with Metal Zoa. I don't think we'll ever see Metal Zoa, to be honest. I don't know if distributing a Zoa with Metal Morph for Metal Zoa is almost ever worth it unless your opponent has exactly like a Cosmo Queen, which isn't in this tournament. Something that you need exactly 3,000. No, even still, Metal Morph would work. It's tough. Maybe if you need maybe if it's main phase 2 and they have a Cosmo Queen, I don't know. You basically never want to play Metal Zoa, right? But because of helping Robo for combat, I really did want to put Metal Zoa in there because it's just like exactly, you can put a card back into the deck and then it can make it live again, and it's just a cool combo. So I did want to put that in there. Also, again, I mentioned that he's got a lot of ways to kind of help keep his deck consistent given all of his high-level monsters. Helping Robo for combat is another one of those, and of course, just a good 1600 attacker at this point in the game. Anyways, Bandit Keith taking the game from Bright Sparks. Next up, we have Anzu Mizaki versus Kaya Sinclair to round out the first round of the winner's bracket. All right, starting us off, we have Kaya Sinclair with Manju of the 10,000 Hands, and then she is one of the ones that does have advanced ritual art. I love Kaya Sinclair's deck. Very excited to show it off. I spent a lot of time on it, yeah, it's got a lot of really cool, interesting combos. So Shining Angel gets in directly after crashing from Nova Summoner, and then she plays Swords Revealing Light. Eris. This is an anime-only card, level 4 vanilla, light fairy, 1800 attack points, very strong in this era. It's one of her advanced ritual art targets because if you saw in her intro card, her boss monster is a ritual that is level 4. She also sends Divine Dragon Ragnarok. She basically runs like a light deck, but there is definitely, again, going back to some of the other decks, there's definitely an aesthetic to this deck that I really liked and had a lot of fun building. It took a long time, and it just, you know, I've got like literally like 100 to 150 different YDKs that have all different like monsters, spells, and traps sorted in various ways because I realize that so much of the deck building just comes down to like finding the exact like cool card that fits this aesthetic that I'm going for. Ancient Dragon is another one of them. I think this card is so cool. And so it's very much like, it's almost like a religious, like spiritual, like kind of old ancient feel. You know, Divine Dragon Ragnarok, Ancient Dragon, Sacred Crane, Eris. There's like a really fun vibe that I can't really put a finger on exactly what it is, but it's really cool. I think, you know, obviously I'm biased. I built the deck, but I love it a lot. Teva is her mini boss. This prevents your opponent from attacking after you tribute summon it successfully. They can attack during the next turn, so she can summon that and kind of basically have a built-in Wabaku against, and it also kind of turns off one turn of swords for Anzu, like in a way, because, you know, like neither player can attack, so you lose the advantage that you would have gained. Advantage, not like card advantage, you know what I mean. Okay, another Magician of Faith coming down. That's a Graceful Charity coming back from the graveyard for Anzu, and then she's playing the Graceful Charity, drawing 3, discarding 2, sending both Nova Summoners United We Stand, her ace card, and Maha Vilo. That is Yugi and her working together. Maha Vilo is, of course, the card she was gifted from Yugi. I didn't put that explicitly in the intro, but I hope that some people would pick up on that. And of course, you watch a tournament, you see what card that is. Okay, Kaya Sinclair is playing a lot of defense mode here because she's just trying to find any way to get out of the situation. Learning Elf and Maha Vilo, quite good. Teva coming down and Advanced Ritual Art into Ku Chulain the Awakened. So let's pause for a sec. This card, once per turn, you can remove play one normal monster from your graveyard. This card gains attack, equals that monster's attack until the standby phase of your next turn. So this card is pretty bad, right? But I found a lot of really great, cool ways to make this work. First of all, Advanced Ritual Art. This is kind of the key combo that I built the entire deck around, is that Advanced Ritual Art literally throws a normal monster into the graveyard for you. So at the very least, and she only has Advanced Ritual Art. This is one of the reasons why I really wanted her to have Advanced Ritual Art. She only, she doesn't have like the normal ritual spell. Wait, maybe she has one copy actually, now that I think about it. I don't remember if I kept that version of the deck in or not, but so she always will have at least one. It only works at the standby phase of your next turn, so you kind of want to sit on this for a while until you have a lot of normal monsters in the graveyard. But these aren't the only normal monsters that she has. She does have a few other ones in the deck that she can get into the graveyard some other ways. So yeah, we'll see how that combo plays out, hopefully. But yeah, very Advanced Ritual Art and Kuchu Lane, I think, just work so well together and are very cool. Okay, Swords of Living Light. Wow, did she just draw that? That's so lucky because she had one turn before Mahavilo would be able to attack her because of Teva, and then she drew swords, exactly what she needed. MST on the swords. Lucky Iron Axe. This is the game right here. This is the game right here. There we go. Anzu taking game 1 from Kaya Sinclair. This is a really, really strong match between two really powerful duelists. Okay, Kaya's going to start us off with what looks like a Shining Angel face down and a set card. Mahavilo coming down early with a Shine Palace. Anzu has really upgraded the equipped spells in her deck. She has 3 Shine Palace, and then she has no more of that Silver Bow and Arrow, no more of that Winged Trumpeter. She's got some good stuff here. DD Warrior Lady. Oh, there is a DD Warrior Lady in this, and it's exclusive right now to Kaya Sinclair. Now I remember. So DD Warrior Lady is able to take out the Mahavilo. Being able to float into that from Shining Angel is great. And then Mahavilo with a Lucky Iron Axe is wonderful. Spiritual Light Art Hijiri. Okay, this is another really cool card that I found because, of course, Kuchu Lane banishes DD Warrior Lady. Also, Foolish Burial. Okay. Let's pause for a sec. There's a lot going on here. So first of all, there's a lot of stuff that banishes in her deck, notably her boss monster. So the fact that this, I was like, this Spiritual Light card is horrible. Like, I wanted to put some of the spiritual art cards in various attribute decks, but I was like, this card sucks. And then once I came back around to finishing the deck, I was like, wait a minute, there's a lot of banishing in this deck, so that really works. Also, Future Samurai does the same thing. It also banishes from the graveyard. But more importantly, or equally importantly, I'm not sure, Future Samurai is a normal monster while in the graveyard. So it's another way to support Kuchu Lane. And it's also just a very good card in general. DD Warrior Lady banishing Mahavilo for the 2nd time in this duel, and that looks like Anzu is now out of 2 of her boss monsters, which is really, really tough for her. Okay, what do you have? She only has a set card, and then Meiku, the Master of Barriers, another card that I feel very much fits this, like, I don't want to say really. Oh, Annihilating Light. Yes, that is one of Anzu's new cards, her version of Dark Hole. Very, very powerful. Monster Reborn, bringing Sacred Cane back. Okay, yeah, get yourself a draw. Beautiful. And Shining Angel coming down for 3k damage to the face. Yeah, I don't want to say like religion is necessarily like, I don't think that Kaya in any way represents religion. In fact, obviously we have the Midgard Kingdom, which is a religious monarchy, so there are other characters that represent religion, but the aesthetic of her deck kind of is like, there's a religious aspect to it. I kind of want to just be like mysterious light guys. I don't know. Kuchu Lane getting in on the Sacred Crane, and then setting 2 from Anzu there. What do we have, Kaya? Can you round out this game? Can you do it? She's going to banish the Future Samurai in her graveyard. Asura Priest is huge here to stop Shining Angels from floating. She's going to go straight into Learning Elf so that she can at least get a draw off of this, but this might be the end of the game. Asura Priest attacking the Magician of Faith face down. Monster Reborn. Is it going to matter? It is not. There it is. Kaya Sinclair does take game 2 from Anzu. All right, Kaya starting us off with 2 set cards. And looks like maybe a Divine Dragon Ragnarok there. Graceful Charity from Anzu, drawing 3, discarding 2 Skelengel. Oh, so 1 Skelengel and a Learning Elf. You love discarding Learning Elf with Graceful Charity, of course. That is an extremely powerful combo. You just get to draw your back. There it is, Foolish Burial. She must have had Wingweaver in hand previously, but she does have 1 copy of Foolish Burial and 1 copy of Wingweaver. So being able to, Wingweaver is kind of her mini boss, but most importantly, it's her strongest target for Kuchu Lane. Oh my god, Monster Reborn on the Wingweaver, attacking the Sacred Crane. You're in trouble now. Okay, Annihilating Light. So they both have Annihilating Light, as you can see. So again, it's kind of like, oh, strong decks get Dark Hole, but you know, for light decks, you want to try to give them a different version of Dark Hole that's relatively similar, right? So that's kind of what I meant about like the staples vary. Ring of Life, that is another great card that used to be only for Bright Sparks, but now more players are getting it, including Anzu, now that she's leveled up quite a bit, and destroying the Kuchu Lane. Next up, Kaya Sinclair going into Meiku, Master of Barriers, into a Nova Summoner going into Shining Angel. It's tough. You have to get like really strategic about when you go into Shining Angel, when you go into Nova Summoner, because Shining Angel has to summon in attack mode. So you have to think like 1 step ahead. Like if your opponent has 2 attacks left, then you go for Nova Summoner. But if they have 1 attack left, they have to attack that Shining Angel in defense mode, and then you can go into attack mode without worrying. Anyway, MST destroys the Swords of Ruling Light. She goes into another Shining Angel, and then Learning Elf, yeah. So then again, you don't go for Nova Summoner because if they attack Nova Summoner, then you can summon in defense mode, but it doesn't matter if you summon in defense mode at that point because you're not going to lose life points anyway. Kaya Sinclair is begging for an Asura Priest here. She really wants one of those. I think that might be the last Shining Angel. Magician of Faith getting Monster Reborn out of the graveyard. Kaya can't stop that from coming down on the Wingweaver. Yes, bring Wingweaver back again for the 2nd time. I mean, Anzu just is really powerful. She has 3 Learning Elf, 3 Nova Summoner, 3 Shining Angel. Already, that's just insanely good. But then she has 3 Magician of Faith to bring all of her powerful spell cards back. Heavy Storm coming down. Does that mean she has a big play? Perhaps. Oh man, you don't love... I don't know if she has Kuchulain in her hand, but even if she does, the fact that Wing Weaver's on Anzu's field here is not great. And that is going to be the game. Anzu is taking out Kaya Sinclair. I really did not know how that was going to go, so that's pretty exciting. And we are now done with round 1 of the winners bracket. Yay!